Chapter 3357. Entering the secret realm of heaven and earth, Duan Lang immediately stepped forward and handed the token to Jian Wushuang. There really is a token. Master Shireen glanced at the token and sighed. He had guessed that to enter the secret realm of heaven and earth, there should be a token to guide them. Moreover, the token should have been found by the immortal saints who had discovered the secret realm of heaven and earth, but unfortunately, he knew too late. If they had known that Duan Lang and the others had tokens, they would not have let them go so easily. They would have found a way to get the tokens and immediately opened the secret realm to enter. By the time Jian Wushuang and the patrol team arrived, the opportunity treasures in the secret realm would have fallen into their hands, and the initiative would be in their hands. Unfortunately, because of the difference of one step, they could only enter the secret land of heaven and earth with the experts of the temporal temple. Even if there were a mountain of treasures and opportunities inside, they could only get 20%. They had to listen to Jian Wushuang's arrangements. The secret realm of heaven and earth is not big. You and I don't need so many experts to enter. Each of us can choose a few people to enter. Jian Wushuang said, "That's fine. Besides you, Shireen, and I, there are 4 other principals masters in the Xiaoyao mansion. A total of 6 people will enter," Marquis Xiaoyao said. As for the temporal temple, Jian Wushuang hesitated for a moment. Then he ordered, "Zhen Tong, you, and Master Si Yi will lead the soldiers to hold back. The other principals masters will follow me into the secret realm of heaven and earth." "Yes." Zhen Tong and Master Si Yi immediately nodded respectfully. They asked Zhen Tong and Master Si Yi to hold back in order to prevent any unnecessary changes. As for the secret realm, there might be some dangers, but they should be able to deal with it with their current strength. Duan Lang Yu, Jian Wushuang looked at them again. "You guys found the secret realm of heaven and earth first, so you should be the first to explore it. But for some reasons, you can't go in now. But you can rest assured that if we find the treasures left by the amethyst demon sect in the secret realm of heaven and earth, or if we get a lot of opportunities and treasures, we will give you a portion according to a certain ratio." "Okay." Duan Lang nodded. "Huh. I hope there really are treasures left by the amethyst demon sect in the secret realm of heaven and earth. Then we will make a fortune." Yu also smiled. They had no objection to Jian Wushuang's decision, and they had long been mentally prepared. This was the way the temporal temple operated. If the experts under them obtained opportunities or treasures with their own power, they would naturally own them. However, if they did not get them by themselves, if they had borrowed the temporal temple's power, then these treasures and fortuitous encounters would definitely belong to the temporal temple. After that, the temporal temple would share a portion of the treasures and fortuitous encounters with these experts according to what they had done. This time, although Duan Lang, Yu, and the others had found this secret realm of heaven and earth, they had carelessly allowed the Xiaoyao mansion to intervene. Thus, they could only let the temporal temple step in. As for the temporal temple, they could only get some opportunities or treasures based on their contributions. As for whether they could enter the heaven and earth secret realm, they did not care too much. As long as they could get a part of it, they would not have to make a wasted trip. After deciding on the experts to enter, Jian Wushuang immediately ordered people to open the heaven and earth secret realm. Previously, without the token, several principals masters of the Xiaoyao mansion could not do anything to the heaven and earth secret realm. But now, because of the token, the temporal temple only sent 3 principals masters. They easily opened the secret realm, and a space passage that could allow several people to enter at the same time appeared in front of them. As soon as the space passage appeared, an extremely ancient aura spread out from it. However, judging from the aura, the secret realm had existed for a long time. It was obviously left behind by the amethyst demon sect. "Let's go in." Jian Wushuang led his 8 principals masters, including Sword Dragon Master, and the 6 principals masters led by Marquis Xiaoyao to enter the secret realm almost at the same time. The secret realm had existed since the Amethyst demon sect dominated the second heaven. Even though the Amethyst demon sect was later destroyed by the Flame Saint realm, the secret realm was still preserved. It had been quiet for a long time, but today the tranquility of the secret realm was finally broken. Buzz! A burst of light flashed, and more than 10 figures stepped out of the spatial tunnel and appeared in the secret realm of heaven and earth. As soon as they came to the secret realm of heaven and earth, Jian Wushuang and the others immediately looked around. What an ancient aura! Such an ancient aura can only be found when the Amethyst demon sect is still in the second heaven. Sword Dragon Master said, "Everyone in the Temporal Temple, have you noticed the difference between the secret realm and the Amethyst Fog Sea?" Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang with interest. "Yes, I have. The Amethyst Fog Sea used to be the lair of the Amethyst demon sect. When the Flame Saint realm attacked the Amethyst Fog Sea, it turned into ruins. It's still a horrible scene. However, there's no trace of a battle in the heaven and earth secret realm. On the contrary, it's very peaceful. The ground and the surrounding mountains are intact. Obviously, the battle didn't affect the heaven and earth secret realm," Jian Wushuang said. "Not only was it left behind by the Amethyst demon sect, but it was not affected by the war at all. This secret realm might be the place where the Amethyst demon sect has been hiding the treasures and opportunities." Master Xian's eyes became extremely hot. It might be the place where the treasures and opportunities are hidden, but the problem now is how to find them. Marquis Xiaoyao smiled faintly and looked at Jian Wushuang again. "Heavenly Sword Marquis, how do you think we should find them?" If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. This secret realm is not very big. Even if the Amethyst demon sect hides the treasures and opportunities in a deep place, we should be able to find them. At most, it will take us a little more time. Marquis Xiaoyao, according to the previous agreement, the experts of your Xiaoyao mansion must always listen to me in this secret realm. Now, I have decided that we should explore this secret realm together and find them slowly," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Chapter 3358. Searching in the Secret Realm of Heaven and Earth. A group of 15 people from the Temporal Temple and the Xiaoyao Mansion were wandering around. The secret realm of heaven and earth was not big. Soon, Jian Wushuang and the others arrived at its core. There were many palaces and pavilions standing there. These palaces and pavilions were quite majestic. Obviously, they were not something that ordinary small sects could have. The treasures left by the Amethyst demon sect are probably hidden in these palaces and pavilions. Let's take our time to find them. Jian Wushuang smiled, and the group immediately began to search carefully in the palaces and pavilions. Comment time passed, and more than half a day passed in a flash. They had searched all the palaces and pavilions in the secret realm, but they did not find any treasures. How could it be? Jian Wushuang frowned. Is the treasure not hidden in the palaces and pavilions, but somewhere else in the secret realm? Or is there no treasure opportunity left by the Amethyst demon sect in the secret realm? Sword Dragon Master said, "No, it's too early to tell. Maybe the treasure is hidden here, but it's hidden so well that we didn't find it. Let's search again," Jian Wushuang said. The people of the Xiaoyao mansion, including Marquis Xiaoyao, did not have any objections. Soon, they searched the palace again. This time, they searched more carefully. It could be said that they searched the entire palace, but they still found nothing. It seems that even if there is treasure left by the Amethyst demon sect in the secret land, it must be hidden very well. if we continue to search like this. It's probably useless. Why don't we spread out and search? Marquis Xiaoyao suggested. Spread out. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows and then smiled. Yes, but there's no need to spread out too much. How about this? The experts of the Temporal Temple and your Marquis Xiaoyao each send a team of 2 to search. That way, even if we find the treasure, we can share it fairly, right? Upon hearing Jian Wushuang's words, Marquis Zaiweo's expression did not change, but his heart jumped. He actually hoped that the experts from both sides could split up to search for the treasure. In this way, if his people were lucky enough to get the treasure, they could say that they did not get it, and Jian Wushuang would not be able to explore it. They had a chance to take the treasure for themselves. Unfortunately, Jian Wushuang had already seen through his plan, so he said that they would move in pairs. Moreover, both sides would send 1 person each. In terms of the number of people on both sides, the Temporal Temple would have a few more people. In this way, the Temporal Temple would have a chance to secretly occupy the treasures they found. After Jian Wushuang made his decision, the experts from both sides quickly began to work in pairs to search the secret land of heaven and earth. As the leader, Jian Wushuang, of course, was with Marquis Xiaoyao. The 2 of them also searched the secret land of heaven and earth. However, even though the group had been divided into several groups and the efficiency of the search was much higher than before, they still could not find anything after searching. Time passed, and soon Jian Wushuang and the others had entered the secret land of heaven and earth for a day. In a magnificent palace, 2 rule masters stood in the middle and carefully observed the surroundings. One of the 2 principal masters was Master Tianfu from the Temporal Temple, and the other was Master Shui from the Xiaoyao Mansion. We've been to this palace several times, but we didn't find anything before. It seems that we can't find anything this time, Master Shui said. Don't be anxious. Keep looking carefully. We can't tell if there are any special mechanisms or formations hidden in this palace. It's just that we haven't activated them yet, Master Tianfu said. Master Shui shrugged and could only continue searching. The 2 of them also kept trying to move the decorative equipment in the palace to see if there were any mechanisms, but unfortunately there was nothing. The 2 of them could only sigh softly and leave the palace. Just as they walked out of the palace, a gray stream of light suddenly flashed around them. Master Tianfu narrowed his eyes. Master Shui, did you see a gray light just now? Gray light? What gray light? Master Shui glanced at Master Tianfu. He and Master Tianfu had walked out of the palace at the same time, but he had indeed not seen any gray light just now. That's not right. I clearly saw a gray light flash just now. Although it disappeared very quickly, there was definitely one. Master Tianfu was incomparably certain. You really saw it? Master Shui's expression also moved. Master Tianfu was a dignified principal's master. Of course, there was no way he could have seen anything wrong. Since he had seen the gray light just now, there was an 80% chance that he was right. And just as the 2 of them were extremely puzzled, the gray light lit up once again, and this time it came directly in front of them. What is this? Master Shui's expression immediately changed. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Be careful. Master Tianfu immediately shouted out. Xiao, that gray light carried an incomparable speed and impact force, instantly enveloping Master Tianfu and Master Shui. The 2 of them had not even seen clearly what this gray light was. However, a terrifying might had already swept over. Boom! The peaceful heaven and earth's secret realm suddenly let out a roar. It was like a sudden clap of thunder on flat ground. instantly exploding. This terrifying roar was accompanied by a shocking might that spread wildly in all directions. At the first moment, it crushed some of the surrounding palaces and pavilions into powder. Even the entire heaven and earth's secret realm was on the verge of collapsing under this terrifying might. It's all falling apart. What's wrong? What's going on? What a terrible power. Who is it? Many experts, including Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao, who were searching for treasures and opportunities in the secret land of heaven and earth, were shocked by this terrifying power. One by one, they soared into the sky, appear in the void. All eyes, all looked to the source of that power. However, when they took a look, they could only see the shocking might and energy that was crazily attacking, as well as the large waves of air that were stirred up by the might. They could not see anything else clearly. After a while, the might gradually depleted. Only then did they see the void clearly. They could see that the void, including the land, had already become a piece of trash. A huge pit appeared in everyone's line of sight, and under the pit one of Master Tianfu and Master Shui stood there trembling. The other had already half knelt down. Both of their faces were pale, and their auras were completely dispirited. There was still blood spewing from their mouths under their feet. This scene caused everyone's pupils to constrict. Chapter 3359, Gray Shadow, Master Tianfu. Shui, the experts of the Temporal Temple and Xiaoyao Mansion immediately rushed toward the pit at their fastest speed. In the blink of an eye, they had already appeared in front of Master Tianfu and Master Shui. Shui, what's going on? Asterisk Marquis, Xiaoyao asked with a frown. 1. Don't know, Master Shui said with a trace of fear. You don't know? Marquis Xiaoyao could not help being stunned. Comment Asa Principal's master. He was injured to such an extent. But Master Shui did not know what had happened. Master Tianfu. Jian Wushuang looked at Master Tianfu. In terms of strength, Master Tianfu had already reached the peak of the Void's second realm, which was slightly stronger than Master Shui. It's a gray streamer, Master Tianfu said in a low voice. A gray streamer? Jian Wushuang was stunned. Master Shui and I were searching in a palace, but we didn't find any trace of it. When we walked out of the palace, I immediately saw a gray streamer flash around us. I was already alert at that time, but then the gray streamer appeared again and directly rushed toward us. You've all seen what happened next, Master Tianfu said. Jian Wushuang's expression immediately turned grave when he heard Master Tianfu's words. In other words, you didn't see clearly what the gray light was? Jian Wushuang asked. Yes. Master Tianfu nodded. I could barely see that the flowing light was a light shadow, but I couldn't see clearly what the time was. How could an expert at the peak of the second void realm be injured so badly before he could even see his opponent? Marquis Xiaoyao's face darkened, and he looked at Jian Wushuang. It seems that the secret realm is not as simple as we thought. Well, I thought that the secret realm was just a place for the amethyst demon sect to hide treasures. But now it seems that there is a high chance that it is a place for treasures. However, there must be a lot of dangers in this place. For example, the gray shadow just now might be a method left behind by the amethyst demon sect to guard the treasure. It might be a special puppet fighter or a sect guarding exotic beast. Jian Wushuang said. The first thing Jian Wushuang thought of when he heard about the gray shadow was puppet fighters or exotic beasts, but he did not think of human cultivators. After all, the secret realm of heaven and earth had existed for a long time. The secret realm of heaven and earth had not been open for a long time. Ifa, human cultivator, was really in the secret realm of heaven and earth. He would not have been alone for so many years. Heavenly Sword Marquis, what should we do next? Do we continue to search? Marquis Xiaoyao asked. Yes, of course. Jian Wushuang smiled. We didn't find any trace of treasure after searching. I almost thought that this secret realm might not be the treasure place of the Amethyst demon sect, but just an ordinary secret realm. But because of the appearance of this gray shadow, I think this secret realm is not simple. Right now, I am almost certain that the secret realm of heaven and earth has something left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. Since there is a treasure, of course, we have to continue searching. Just like before, we will continue searching in pairs. However, when we are searching, we have to be careful. We have to be wary of the gray figure's attack. Also, Marquis Xiaoyao, there is no need for us to continue searching. We will stay in the central area of this building complex and observe the surrounding movements. Once we see the gray figure appear again, we will immediately take action. Okay. Marquis Xiaoyao nodded heavily. He was now certain that the secret realm of heaven and earth was the treasure place of the Amethyst demon sect. Jian Wushuang's arrangement was very reasonable. He asked the others to continue searching for the treasure in the complex. As the strongest, the two of them stood in the center of the complex to deal with the possible changes. Once the gray figure appeared again, they would be able to detect it immediately. Immediately, the principal's masters of both sides continued to search carefully in the surrounding buildings. Because of their serious injuries and the sharp decline in their strength, Master Tianfu and Master Shui did not continue searching. Instead, they stayed with Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao and kept an eye on the situation around them. An hour later, in the void not far away from Jian Wushuang, the gray streamer appeared again without any warning. Although the gray streamer appeared very suddenly, Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao noticed it immediately. It's there. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with a fierce light as he instantly locked onto the gray streamer. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. However, the gray flowing light under his gaze was too fast. It was so fast that Jian Wushuang did not even have time to give any warning. The gray flowing light was no longer hindered in the slightest as it directly charged toward the two principal's masters who were searching around. The strength of the two principal's masters was relatively average. Even though the two of them had been on guard against the gray flowing light because of the lessons they had learned from Master Tianfu and Master Shui, they still did not manage to block it in time. Boom! Another earth-shaking, terrifying boom swept across the area. When Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao entered the area, the gray flowing light had already disappeared, and the two principal's masters who had been hit by the flowing light had also been severely injured. Damn it! Looking at the two principal's masters who seemed to be even more miserable than Master Tianfu and Master Shui, Jian Wushuang's face turned very ugly. It's too fast. The gray flowing light just now was too fast. It was so fast that even you and I didn't have time to react. What's more, we still couldn't see clearly what it was. Marquis Xiaoyao also said in a low voice. Yes, although the two of them had noticed the appearance of the gray flowing light and looked over immediately, they still could not figure out what it was. They still did not know what the gray light shadow was. The gray light is hidden too well. It's hiding right beside us, but we can't find it at all. Even the principal's masters, who are best at soul perception, can't seem to catch the existence of the gray light, Marquis Xiaoyao said seriously. It's really troublesome. If we want to continue searching for the treasure, we must find a way to find the gray light first. Otherwise, if we let it be around us, our principal's masters will be too dangerous. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. Chapter 3360. Space-time prison Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao were not afraid of the gray light shadow. After all, they were powerful. so the gray light shadow should not be able to threaten them. However, most of the principal's masters under them were only in the second realm of the void. They could not face the gray light shadow. 4 principal's masters had been seriously injured. If they let the gray light shadow continue, more principal's masters would be injured. The gray light shadow was too fast and did not have any aura or power. We could not sense its existence. It was just like the shadowless escape art you mastered. Marquis Xiaoyao said, "Shadowless escape skill." Jian Wushuang was stunned, but then he nodded secretly. Indeed, his shadowless escape skill was hidden in the surrounding void and could hide from the soul detection of the cultivators, but because his mastery of the shadowless escape skill was only in the profound realm, therefore he couldn't hide it from Marquis Xiaoyao, who had already reached the peak of the 4th realm of the void. But the gray shadow could even hide from Marquis Xiaoyao. It was hidden in the secret realm of heaven and earth, but no one knew where it was. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you have mastered the shadowless escape technique, so you should know more about this concealment method. Do you have a way to find the gray light shadow now? Marquis Xiaoyao asked. I'm not sure, but I can try. Jian Wushuang focused his eyes, and a large amount of the power of space-time principles had gathered in his body. In the blink of an eye, the power of space-time principles gathered in his body had reached an astonishing level. Space-time principles. Marquis Xiaoyao looked at him in surprise. To find the gray figure, you should find a way to improve your soul perception. What use can you use the space-time principles now? Just watch. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Then he stretched out his right hand and made a strange cut in the void in front of him, one finger drawing the sky, space-time prison. Buzz. With that simple stroke, the power of the space-time principles gathered in Jian Wushuang's body suddenly surged up and swept out in all directions like a wave. In just a moment, it covered the entire secret realm of heaven and earth. This is when Marquis Xiaoyao saw the power of the space-time principles around him, his pupils suddenly shrank. Space-time imprisonment. This is space-time imprisonment. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you have mastered space-time imprisonment? How is that possible? When I fought with you, your application of space-time principles clearly did not reach this level. Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. Huh? Marquis Xiaoyao, there are many things you don't know. Jian Wushuang smiled. His application of space-time principles indeed did not reach the level of space-time imprisonment. It was still at the level of space-time conversion. Under normal circumstances, he could not use space-time imprisonment. However, Jian Wushuang could use the power of the treasure even though he could not use it by himself. For example, he was using the golden sky painting flag given to him by the temporal temple master. The golden sky painting flag was a top-notch treasure in space-time. It could be very useful in the hands of experts who were proficient in space-time principles. For example, back on Saha Island, Green Rock Master had used the golden sky painting flag to cast time and space imprisonment, which prevented many powerful principles masters in the temporal temple from breaking it. Although Jian Wushuang could not use the principles of time and space as well as Green Rock Master, he could still use the golden sky painting flag to perform some tricks, especially since the golden sky painting flag had some secret skills. Jian Wushuang had mastered the simplest of them, the space-time prison, and he had already performed it. Although I don't know why you can use the space-time imprisonment, what we need to do now is to find the gray shadow. If you completely imprison this space-time, you can only trap it in this space-time, but you still can't find it. Marquis Xiaoyao frowned and said, if it's just an ordinary space-time lock, it can only trap people. However, my space-time prison is different. Not only does it have the effect of space-time lock, but it also has a great space-time domain. In other words, this space-time will definitely be under my control. My space-time power can sweep through every space-time, wantonly. No matter how deep it is hidden, I can find it. Jian Wushuang smiled. Wait a moment, I'm already looking for him. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Come, thanks. Upon hearing this, Marquis Zaiweo's heart was in turmoil. This heavenly sword marquis really has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. Marquis Xiaoyao looked at Jian Wushuang with a meaningful look. He knew that Jian Wushuang had a lot of tricks up his sleeve, so he chose not to continue fighting with Jian Wushuang. Instead, he chose to admit defeat. He had made a wise choice at that time. After all, Jian Wushuang did not show any tricks in that battle, like in the space-time prison. I found it! Jian Wushuang's eyes suddenly lit up, and a smile appeared on his face. You really hit it well. Unfortunately, no matter how well you hit it, you can't escape from this space-time. Marquis Xiaoyao, follow me? Jian Wushuang shouted in a low voice, but his figure instantly shot out. Naturally, Marquis Xiaoyao immediately followed Jian Wushuang. Swish, swish, two figures flashed at the same time, but in an instant they appeared in front of an empty void. Here. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with a fierce light. The blood mountain sword behind him had already been drawn, and a brutal sword essence with shocking power instantly slashed toward the empty void. As for Marquis Xiaoyao, although he did not see anything strange in the void in front of him, he followed Jian Wushuang and also pressed forward with his heavy sword. The two sword shadows slashed toward the empty void almost at the same time. At first, there was indeed nothing in the void, but just as the two sword shadows were about to fall, a strange gray light suddenly appeared. Then the gray light flashed and instantly collided with the two sword shadows. Clang! Clang! The sound of metal colliding rang out. Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao retreated almost at the same time. They pushed me and Marquis Xiaoyao back at the same time. Jian Wushuang was quite surprised as he retreated. After a while, he and Marquis Xiaoyao regained their balance, and their eyes immediately looked at the void in front of them. Jian Wushuang had also sensed that after fighting with him, and Marquis Xiaoyao, the gray shadow did not choose to hide again. Instead, it stood in the void. Chapter 3361. The legacy when the power completely dissipated. Jian Wushuang finally saw the other party clearly. It was a disheveled old man with silver hair and tattered clothes, who looked like a beggar. Although the disheveled old man did not emit any aura, when he stood there and appeared in everyone's sight, they could still sense an extremely rich life aura from him. In other words, this sloppy old man was not a puppet fighter, but a real life. He was actually a human cultivator. He is a cultivator. Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao looked at each other in shock. At the beginning, when they knew about the existence of the gray light shadow, the first thing they thought of was the helmet or some special exotic beasts, but they did not expect that the other party was a human cultivator, because the secret realm of heaven and earth had existed for a long time, and it had been sealed all year round. If there were human cultivators, they would have left long ago. Why would they stay here? But now they had miscalculated. The sloppy old man who appeared in front of them was definitely a real human cultivator. Who are you? Jian Wushuang stared at the sloppy old man in front of him and asked in a solemn voice, "Who am I? It's been a long time since anyone asked me this question. I've even forgotten who I am." The sloppy old man said. His voice was extremely hoarse and a little stiff. It was obvious that he had not spoken for a long time. "Have you forgotten who you are?" Jian Wushuang was stunned, but he immediately understood that the sloppy old man must be an extremely ancient existence. It was very likely that he had been left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. It had been at least hundreds of millions of years since then. He had been alone in the secret land of heaven and earth for such a long time. He had been lonely for so many years. The sloppy old man had not lost his mind, let alone forgotten who he was. It had already been very impressive. Lord Batsang, Jian Wushuang sent a message to Batsang immediately. If the secret land of heaven and earth was closed, he could not communicate with the outside world. But now that the secret land of heaven and earth had been opened, his communication with the outside world was not restricted. The reason why Jian Wushuang looked for Batsang in order to get information on the Amethyst demon sect. Although the sloppy old man had forgotten who he was, Jian Wushuang guessed that he must be from the Amethyst demon sect. It was very likely that he was an expert in the Amethyst demon sect. He had survived the destruction of the Amethyst demon sect in the Flame Saint realm and had stayed in the secret realm of heaven and earth. As long as he got information about the experts of the Amethyst demon sect, he should be able to know the identity of the sloppy old man. As one of the 3 freedom alliances in the divine beginning realm, the Temporal Temple was the most ancient existence. It was much older than the Amethyst demon sect. When the Amethyst demon sect dominated the second heaven, the Temporal Temple had always been the overlord of the divine beginning realm. Naturally, the Temporal Temple had information about the experts of the Amethyst demon sect, but it would take some time to find all of them. You're very good. The sloppy elder suddenly glanced at Jian Wushuang. It's rare for a saint to find me, but unfortunately, you can't come to this place. Leave. The sloppy elder's voice was cold, as if he was asking them to leave. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly, while Marquis Xiaoyao, who was standing beside him, said in a low voice, "Your Excellency, although I don't know your true identity, I think you must be someone left behind by the Amethyst demon sect. If I'm not wrong, you're here to protect the treasure left behind by the Amethyst demon sect, right? It's been almost 200 million years since the Amethyst demon sect was destroyed. The experts left behind by the Amethyst demon sect have all died except for you. There's no possibility of them rising again, and this treasure is useless to you, who has become a lone wolf. Why don't you help us and give us the treasure?" Hearing this, the sloppy old man's eyes darkened. He had indeed forgotten his name and identity, but he still remembered his mission. His mission was to stay here and guard this place, to protect the final hope of the Amethyst demon sect's rise. Marquis Xiaoyao was right. The many treasures and opportunities left behind by the Amethyst demon sect were indeed hidden in this secret realm. He was the guardian of these treasures and opportunities. He had waited for so many years. He had waited for the experts left behind by the Amethyst demon sect to come with the tokens. Then he would use these treasures and opportunities to rise again in the divine beginning realm. Unfortunately, after waiting for nearly 200 million years, not a single person had come to this secret realm of heaven and earth. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Until now, someone had finally used the tokens to open the secret realm of heaven and earth. However, under the observation of these principal's masters, this sloppy old man had long known that the other party had nothing to do with the Amethyst demon sect. That was why he did not immediately show himself. But now, are all the seeds left in the sect dead? The sloppy old man looked up at the void and muttered to himself, "Of course they are dead. Otherwise, why would no one come here to look for you? How could that token fall into our hands?" Marquis Xiaoyao sneered. "Your Excellency, a wise man submits to circumstances. Your Amethyst demon sect has already lost the possibility of rising again. Moreover, with the Flame Saint realm around, Even if your amethyst demon sect still has some experts left behind, it is impossible for you to re-establish the amethyst demon sect. Therefore, it is better for you to hand over that treasure. This way, we will forget about the matter of you seriously injuring the four of us principal's masters. Otherwise, Marquis Zaiweo's eyes were filled with annoyance and coldness. So what if you don't? I didn't blame you for barging in here, and I was even willing to let you leave. What a joke that you still dare to threaten me. You're really courting death. The sloppy old man's gaze turned cold. Since you're not willing to leave, then you can stay here forever to accompany me. As soon as the sloppy old man finished speaking, an extremely terrifying aura instantly appeared. It was as if a giant dragon that had been slumbering for billions of years had suddenly awakened. This aura was earth-shaking and immediately swept out and suppressed the entire area. In the secret realm of heaven and earth, there were more than a dozen principals masters from both the Temporal Temple and the Xiaoyao Mansion, including Jian Wushuang and Marquis Xiaoyao, who were experts in the void realm. But at this moment, under the pressure of this sudden burst of aura, almost everyone felt a sense of fear from the depths of their souls. Chapter 3362. Demon Master Chen. Hua, something's wrong. Be careful. Jian Wushuang's expression changed when he felt the overwhelming aura from the sloppy old man. Marquis Zaiweo's eyes darkened, but then a monstrous aura rose from his body. At the same time, a large amount of destructive and thunder principles power rose. At this moment, Marquis Xiaoyao, at a glance, he appeared just like a terrifying destructive thunder god. He is just an old fellow that has been left behind from the era of the Amethyst Demon Sect. Moreover, he has been trapped in this secret realm. Marquis Xiaoyao did not have the slightest fear towards the sloppy old man. He knew, during the battle when the Amethyst Demon Sect was destroyed, the top principals masters under the Amethyst Demon Sect had already been killed by the Flame Saint Realm. Even if there were some who remained, their strength would definitely not be that great. Although nearly 200 million years had passed since the battle, the sloppy old man had stayed in the secret realm and did not go out. He did not have the chance to gain experience or opportunities. Even if his strength had increased, it definitely would not have been much. Furthermore, he had just met the sloppy old man. Although the sloppy old man had given him a lot of pressure, Marquis Xiaoyao did not think that his strength would be weaker than the sloppy old man. Kill! Thunderbolt! Swoosh! Following Marquis Zaiweo's shout, a flash of lightning suddenly shot out. It was so fast that people could not see clearly. Most people could only see a flash of lightning across the sky. However, Marquis Xiaoyao had already arrived in front of the sloppy old man. At the same time, he had raised the 2-meter-long heavy sword high up. On the heavy sword, two extremely violent rules, destruction and thunder, perfectly merged together. He slashed down with a bang. The power of this sword could be said to be world-shaking. Jian Wushuang was extremely familiar with this sword. Previously, when he was fighting with Marquis Xiaoyao, Marquis Xiaoyao had used this sword to completely crush him in terms of power. This was Marquis Zaiweo's strongest sword, and its power had almost reached the limit of an expert of the Void Fourth Realm. However, in the face of such a powerful sword strike, a mocking expression appeared on the sloppy old man's face. He did not make much of a move and merely waved his tattered sleeve, causing a thin and weak arm like a blade. It directly hacked at the heavy sword. "Get lost!" The sloppy old man also shouted. The heavy sword collided with the arm, and following a metallic sound, the heavy sword in Marquis Zaiweo's hand was instantly sent flying. However, that arm still carried a shocking might. It directly struck Marquis Zaiweo's divine body. Marquis Zaiweo's body shook, and the defense on the surface of his body immediately collapsed. His divine body also suffered an unprecedented impact at this moment. His divine body actually directly collapsed at this moment. This was not the end. At the same time that Marquis Zaiweo's divine body collapsed, a terrifying devouring power was wantonly devouring Marquis Zaiweo's divine power. In just an instant, more than 60% of Marquis Zaiweo's divine power was devoured. 1. Marquis Zaiweo's immortal body was activated immediately. By using up the remaining divine power, his body was finally reassembled. However, after reassembling, his aura was extremely weak. His divine power was only left with less than 20%. Run! After reassembling his divine body, Marquis Xiaoyao did not hesitate at all. He frantically fled to the side, pulling away from the sloppy old man. As he fled, his face was also filled with unprecedented horror. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. One move. In just one move, he had defeated his most powerful ultimate skill and destroyed his divine body, causing him to lose more than 80% of his divine power in an instant. Such strength was too terrifying. The numerous principles masters from the Temporal Temple and Xiaoyao Mansion, who were also in the secret realm of heaven and earth, was completely stunned by the scene before them. Who was Marquis Xiaoyao? He was the mansion master of the Xiaoyao Mansion. Although there were more than 10 principles masters present, Marquis Xiaoyao was definitely the most powerful one apart from Jian Wushuang. Moreover, the Xiaoyao Mansion was good at fighting head-on. He had mastered the two violent principles, powers of destruction and thunder at the same time. Moreover, he had perfectly combined them together with an absolute art to unleash the most powerful attack. Even Jian Wushuang felt inferior to him. But now his most powerful attack was so weak in front of the sloppy old man. How is this possible? The mansion master's divine body was destroyed in one move, and he lost so much divine power. Does this mean that he can kill the mansion master if he attacks again? This man's strength is so terrifying. Terrifying. These two words appeared in everyone's hearts, and the many principles masters present looked at the sloppy old man with eyes filled with terror. At the same time, they all understood that this sloppy old man probably did not have any intention of killing them, so he only attacked to teach them a lesson, give them a warning, and let them leave. Otherwise, the 4 principles masters who had been severely injured by him would not have survived. But now, the sloppy old man had shown up, and because of what Marquis Xiaoyao had said, he had clearly intended to kill them. On the other side, while he was shocked by the sloppy old man's strength, Jian Wushuang finally recognized him from the information provided by the Temporal Temple. Chenhua, you are the genius elder of the Amethyst Demon Sect. Demon Master Chenhua. Jian Wushuang's voice echoed in the secret realm. Hearing the name of Demon Master Chenhua, the Rule Masters felt that he was a stranger. The Amethyst Demon Sect was too far away from the current era, and the Principles Master was no longer active in the Divine Beginning realm. They had long been forgotten by the world. Of course, they did not know who the Demon Master Chenhua was. However, as the Mansion Master of Xiaoyao Mansion, Marquis Xiaoyao, who had also lived for a relatively long time, had heard of the Demon Master Chenhua. Demon Master Chenhua? Is he that genius elder from the Amethyst Demon Sect who broke through to the Principles Master Realm in less than 100,000 years and reached the 4th level of the Void Realm in 300,000 years? Marquis Zaiweo's eyes were also filled with shock. How is this possible? Shouldn't this Demon Master Chenhua have been killed by the experts of the Flame Saint Realm during that battle? Marquis Xiaoyao did not know. During the battle that destroyed the Amethyst Demon Sect, many of the top experts of the Amethyst Demon Sect were killed, including more than 90% of the Principles Masters. However, There were also some who were lucky enough to survive. For example, this demon Master Chen. Because of some reasons, he had been staying in the secret realm of heaven and earth and had not participated in the battle. Of course, the Flame Saint Realm had not been able to kill him. However, the Flame Saint Realm had not announced it to the public. So everyone thought that this genius elder had also died in that battle. However, that was not the case. Chapter 3363. Genius Elder, Demon Master Chen. After Jian Wushuang said the name of the sloppy old man, the sloppy old man fell into deep thought. Demon Master Chen. It's so familiar, so familiar. Yes, that's my name. I'm Demon Master Chen. The sloppy old man's eyes flashed with a fierce light. After thinking of his name, a large amount of memories and thoughts flooded in. After all, Demon Master Chen was a powerful principles master. It was only because he had waited for so long in this secret realm of heaven and earth that he gradually forgot himself and began to forget everything. However, these things that he forgot would form memories that would remain in his mind. As long as he was reminded, these memories would be recalled one by one. Tam the Amethyst Demon, Sex Demon Master Chen. That is my root. When I was young, Master had led me into the demon sect and taught me with great care. I did well. In less than 100,000 years, I broke through to become the principal's master and became the #1 genius of the Amethyst demon sect. In the following 200,000 years, I made a name for myself in the divine beginning realm, letting everyone in the divine beginning realm know my name, Demon Master Chen. My master is also very pleased with my achievements. The elders in the sect master, are also full of expectations for me. As long as I improve my strength, the overall strength of the Amethyst demon sect will be able to completely surpass those great sects in third heaven. Originally, everything was developing in a good direction. However, one day, a disaster arrived. The Flame Saint Realm is the Flame Saint Realm. They attacked our Amethyst demon sect and massacred our experts. My master, the sect master, and many top experts of our Purple Star demon sect were annihilated in that battle. Among the many elders, I was the only one who brought the final hope of the Amethyst demon sect's rise to power. I lay dormant in this secret realm of heaven and earth. Flame Saint Realm. Damned Flame Saint Realm. A bunch of trash. They all deserve to die. The sloppy old man, who was the Demon Master Chen, had a look of delight on his face when he spoke at the beginning. However, as he spoke, his voice became more and more impassioned, and his face became redder and redder. In the end, his eyes turned scarlet. He became completely crazed. Kill. People from the Flame Saint Realm deserve to die. Boom. A world-shaking killing intent crazily burst out of Demon Master Chen. The aura emitted by Demon Master Chen, who reached a new level at this moment. This level was enough to make experts like Marquis Xiaoyao and Jian Wushuang tremble in fear. Oh no, this demon master is completely crazy. He has been alone in the secret land of heaven and earth for nearly 200 million years. It's fine if he forgot his memory before, but now that he remembered it with a towering hatred, it's no wonder he's crazy. Jian Wushuang's face was unsightly. At this moment, he saw the crazy demon master suddenly let out a roar. The roar shook the sky and tore the void in an instant, forming a terrifying shock wave. It swept wildly in all directions. Just a roar, and it tore through space. Jian Wushuang was shocked, but he immediately shouted, "Be careful, retreat quickly." In fact, without Jian Wushuang's reminder, the experts from both the Temporal Temple and the Xiaoyao Mansion had already retreated far away when they saw Demon Master sunk into madness and recalled his terrifying strength. They stood in the distance and watched in horror as the shock wave created by Demon Master Chen was roar-shattered many palaces and pavilions in the secret realm of heaven and earth and razed the entire building complex to the ground. What's wrong with Demon Master Chen Hua? It's fine that he's mad, but how could he be so powerful? Marquis Xiaoyao was the most terrified among them. He had fled to the edge of the secret realm of heaven and earth. He looked at the Demon Master from afar. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. As for Jian Wushuang, he was not far away from Marquis Xiaoyao, and his face was very solemn. According to the information, when the Flame Saint Realm destroyed the Amethyst Demon Sect, Demon Master Chen Huo was only a rule master of the Void Four Realms. At most, he was at the peak of the Void Four Realms. But now, the strength he displayed, he had injured Marquis Xiaoyao in one move and almost killed him. With a roar, he shattered the void. Even experts at the peak of the 5 Void Realms, or even the 5 Void Realms, could not achieve such terrifying strength. Obviously, the strength of this Demon Master was at least at the level of the 6 Void Realms. As for what level he was at among the 6 Void Realms, it was unknown. However, Jian Wushuang guessed that the Demon Master must be very strong among the 6 realms of the Void. It was quite normal for him to advance from the peak of the 4th realm of the Void to the 6th realm of the Void in nearly 200 million years. However, don't forget the environment that Demon Master was in. He had been staying in this secret realm of heaven and earth and was completely isolated from the outside world. There were no opportunities, no experiences, and he could not even interact with anyone. There was only boredom and loneliness. In such an environment, ordinary people would have long gone mad, not to mention trying to find ways to improve their strength. Moreover, even if he could stabilize his mind and cultivate, he could still improve his strength very slowly by immersing himself in cultivation and not having any contact with the outside world. Once he encountered a bottleneck, he might be trapped there and could not improve at all. For example, although Jian Wushuang occasionally went into closed-door cultivation, he would not stay in it for too long because he knew that blindly cultivating in closed-door cultivation was far from being comparable to his adventures outside. And this Demon Master Chen Hua had stayed in such a crazy environment for nearly 200 million years, yet his strength could still increase so much. It was indeed impressive. A genius elder is indeed a genius. Jian Wushuang secretly exclaimed. In the era when the Amethyst Demon Sect was still in existence, the Demon Master Chen, whose talent could not be compared with his perfect life, but it was still very impressive. He became a Principal's Master in less than 100,000 years. He reached the 4th Void Realm in less than 300,000 years. Such a speed of improvement could make countless top geniuses in the Divine Beginning Realm look up to him. However, this genius elder is a bit tricky now. Jian Wushuang frowned and looked at the crazy Demon Master in the void in front of him. The eyes of the Demon Master were scarlet and filled with shocking killing intent. It seemed that he wanted to kill everyone here, and he really had such strength. Seems that I have to find a way to calm him down first. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly. Chapter 3364, Persuasion, Part 1, All of You Should Die. Demon Master Chen Huo was completely mad. At this moment, he was like a peerless, ferocious beast from ancient times. His body suddenly flashed, and no one had the time to react. He had already appeared in front of the nearest Principal's Master from Xiaoyao Mansion. Then, his right hand struck out like lightning, directly piercing through the god body of that Principal's Master. And the strange power contained in that palm, almost instantly, all the divine power of the Principal's Master in the 2nd realm of the Void Realm was destroyed. In the blink of an eye, the Principal's Master of the Xiaoyao Mansion had died. The other principal's masters around were shocked when they saw this scene. Jian Wushuang, on the other hand, immediately made his move. Paint the ground as a prison, space-time binding. Jian Wushuang waved his hand, and the vast power of space-time principles that covered the surrounding area instantly covered Demon Master Chen Hua. Space-time binding was also a move in the space-time prison. It was used to restrict the opponent's movements while completely confining the surrounding space-time. However, when the space-time binding was applied to Demon Master, he only shook his body slightly and then broke free. As expected, my space-time binding, even with the help of the golden sky painting flag, can only restrict an ordinary expert of the fifth void realm. It's impossible to restrict an expert of the sixth void realm like Demon Master. Jian Wushuang's face darkened. He had to find a way to stop Demon Master Chen Hua. Otherwise, if he continued to kill like this, there would be no one in the secret realm who could escape. Suddenly, Jian Wushuang's expression changed. He shouted at Demon Master Chen Hua, "Demon Master Chen Hua, your amethyst demon sect has been destroyed. As a genius elder of the amethyst demon sect, don't you want to avenge the amethyst demon sect?" Jian Wushuang's voice was loud and clear, echoing throughout the secret realm of heaven and earth. Of course, Demon Master Chen Hua heard it clearly, and his body suddenly stopped in the void. His scarlet eyes were filled with shocking killing intent. He suddenly looked at Jian Wushuang and asked, "What did you say?" Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He said in a low voice, "Demon Master Chen Hua, since you can control your body, it seems that you still have your rationality. I'm telling you now, if you still have the slightest intention of avenging the amethyst demon sect, then stop. But if you don't have the intention of avenging the amethyst demon sect, then you can continue to kill." Demon Master Chen, who was already standing there. His killing intent was still soaring, but the scarlet in his eyes slowly faded away. His earth-shaking aura also slowly faded away. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang also heaved a sigh of relief. Has he finally stopped? Jian Wushuang was also very nervous. He did not know whether his words could make Demon Master Chen Hua stop. However, he could see that although Demon Master Chen Hua looked crazy as a principal's master of the six void realms, no matter how crazy he was, he should be able to maintain a trace of rationality. Moreover, he valued the amethyst demon sect so much, so his words should make Demon Master Chen Hua somewhat worried. As expected, when Demon Master Chen Hua heard his words, although his killing intent did not weaken, he stopped killing for the time being. "Boy, what do you mean by what you said just now?" Demon Master Chen Hua stared at Jian Wushuang with cold eyes. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. Then he said, "Demon Master Chen Hua, I've made myself clear. If you kill all of us here, I guarantee you'll lose your only chance to avenge your amethyst demon sect." Huh. Demon Master Chen Hua's pupils constricted slightly. He did not speak, but listened to Jian Wushuang's story. "Demon Master Chen Hua, you should have already noticed that I'm not an expert under the command of the Flame Saint Realm. I'm from the Temporal Temple." Jian Wushuang said, "Temporal Temple?" Demon Master Chen Hua's memories of the Temporal Temple immediately appeared in his mind, but his expression remained calm. The Temporal Temple is indeed an ancient overlord. Even when the amethyst demon sect was at its peak, we didn't dare to provoke it. However, now that the amethyst demon sect has been destroyed, I'm the only one left. I'm not afraid of your Temporal Temple. Even if I kill all of your people here, what can the Temporal Temple do to me?" The Demon Master Chen Hua was not conceited, but he did indeed have the ability to do so. One had to know that he was now a super expert of the 6 states of the void. In the divine beginning realm, unless the 3 great saint realm masters or those few rulers personally took action, No one could do anything to him. Although the temporal temple had a deep foundation and was powerful, under the circumstance that the temporal temple master did not personally take action, they probably could not do anything to the demon master Chen Hua. After all, the demon master Chen, who was not only terrifyingly powerful, the amethyst demon sect had long been destroyed, so there was nothing that could restrain or restrict him. As the saying went, a barefooted person was not afraid of wearing shoes. It was true that the demon master did not care about the temporal temple at the moment. Demon master, with your current strength, the temporal temple is indeed unable to do anything to you. However, you have lived from the amethyst demon sect's era until now. You should know the position of the temporal temple. The temporal temple and the flame holy region have always been on opposite sides. They have even been fighting for a long time. Although this kind of fight will not affect the status of the flame saint realm, it will often cause pain to the flame saint realm. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Besides, the person standing in front of you has the same hatred with the flame saint realm as you do. He will not rest until one of us is dead. Jian Wushuang said, "The person standing in front of me, are you talking about yourself?" Demon Master Chen, who looked at Jian Wushuang. "Yes, it's me." Jian Wushuang smiled. "Not only do I have a hatred with the flame saint realm, but I also have a hatred with the other two saint realms. The three saint realms have risked their lives to kill me more than once or twice. It can be said that they and I are absolutely dead. There is no turning back." "Humph, kid, why didn't you look in the mirror before you lied? Who do you think you are?" However, for a mere immortal saint, if you were to say that you have a feud with the three great saint realms, this old man would believe you. However, you actually said that the three great saint realms had risked everything to kill you multiple times. Hee. If the three great saint realms really risked everything to kill you, would you still be alive? Who do you think you are? Demon Master Chen was sneered. Demon Master Chen Hua, I'm not lying to you. The feud between me and the three saint realms, and the three saint realms have risked their lives to kill me many times, is known by everyone in the divine beginning realm. You can go out and ask anyone. Jian Wushuang said seriously. Chapter 3365. Persuasion, Part 2. Is this kid really as he said? The three saint realms are willing to do anything to kill him? Demon Master Chen Hua frowned. At this moment, Marquis Xiaoyao, who had already escaped to the edge of the secret realm, hurriedly spoke. Demon Master Chen Hua, what Heavenly Sword Marquis said is true. I have a mirror image of him fighting with the three saint realms. You can take a look. After saying that, Marquis Xiaoyao waved his hand and threw a mirror token at Demon Master Chen Hua. Demon Master Chen Hua took the mirror token and began to read it. The mirror token was the scene of Jian Wushuang fighting with the three saint realms on the Saha Island more than 400 years ago. The battle was earth-shaking, and there were many experts watching the battle. Naturally, someone recorded the scene with the mirror token. The mirror image had long been spread in the divine beginning realm. Marquis Xiaoyao happened to have one in his hands. Demon Master Chen Hua looked at the scene in the mirror token. At first, he was only surprised, but later it completely turned into shock. In the end, even he was shocked. Boy, you are an immortal saint. How could you fight with the three saint realms and severely injure Saint Master Yen and Sorcerer God? Demon Master Chen Hua looked at Jian Wushuang in shock. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should believe me now. Jian Wushuang said seriously, as I said, I have been fighting with the three saint realms for a long time, including the saint realm of fire, which was responsible for the destruction of the amethyst demon sect. The so-called enemy of the enemy is a friend. Demon Master Chen Hua, we should stand on the same side. If we fight, the Saint Realm of Fire will be secretly happy. You're right. Demon Master Chen nodded slightly, and the killing intent in his body began to weaken. Since you're fighting with the Flame Saint Realm so fiercely, and you even heavily injured the Flame Saint Master, I won't hold you responsible for breaking into the Heaven and Earth secret realm and offending me. You can leave now. It was obvious that Demon Master Chen had no intention to attack Jian Wushuang and the others. In fact, he did not intend to kill Jian Wushuang and the others because he had held back before. It was only because Marquis Xiaoyao had angered him and he had just remembered the destruction of the Amethyst Demon sect that he began to kill them. But now, when he saw the mirror image of Jian Wushuang severely injuring Saint Master Yen, the anger in his heart had disappeared, and he even had a good impression of Jian Wushuang. After all, he hated Saint Master Yen to the bone. Jian Wushuang had severely injured Saint Master Yen, and he had already vented his anger on him. Demon Master Chen Hua, don't dismiss me yet. I think the two of us can have a good talk, Jian Wushuang said. Talk about what? Demon Master Chen Hua looked over. About what I said before. Do you still have any thoughts of avenging the Amethyst Demon sect? Jian Wushuang asked. A fierce light flashed in Demon Master's eyes. Jian Wushuang smiled and glanced at the principal's masters around him. I've asked the outsiders to reopen the secret realm. Leave and let me talk to Demon Master. Yes. The principal's masters obeyed Jian Wushuang's order. As for Marquis Xiaoyao, he had come to the secret land of heaven and earth to obtain the treasures left behind by the Amethyst Demon sect. However, he did not obtain the treasures and opportunities. Instead, he was severely injured. Moreover, a principal's master of his Xiaoyao mansion had been killed by Demon Master Chen Hua. This made him extremely aggrieved and unwilling. However, no matter how aggrieved and unwilling he was, once he thought of the terrifying strength of Demon Master Chen Hua, he could not think of anything else. Shaking his head, Marquis Xiaoyao could only leave with the rest of the people from Xiaoyao Mansion. In the blink of an eye, all the principal's masters had left, leaving Jian Wushuang alone in the secret land of heaven and earth to look at Demon Master Chen Hua. Boy, you're an immortal saint, but you can make so many principal's masters obey you. You're really capable, Demon Master Chen Hua praised. Jian Wushuang only smiled faintly. All right, what do you want to say? Speak, Demon Master Chen Hua said. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should have noticed that although I'm only an immortal saint, I'm very special, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. I can make principal's masters obey me and be respectful to me. I can also kill ordinary principal's masters. In the Great War 400 years ago, I was able to fight the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God at the same time and severely injure them. Yes, you are special, or rather, heaven-defying. When I was young, I was also called a peerless genius. But compared to you, I am nothing. But no matter how special you are or how talented you are, what does it have to do with me? Demon Master Chen was said in a deep voice. Of course I care. Demon Master Chen Hua. As I said before, the 3 Saint Realms will do anything to kill me. This is no joke. More than 400 years ago, they set up an inescapable net to kill me. They even sent the 3 Saint Realm Masters and the Sorcerer God, who has the battle strength of a Saint Realm Master, to kill me. It shows how much the 3 Saint Realms value me, Jian Wushuang said. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Indeed, this is the first time I've heard of the 3 Saint Realms going all out to kill an immortal saint. Even a top principal's master, or even some of the top sects in the divine beginning realm, shouldn't be able to make the 3 Saint Realms go through so much trouble, let alone an immortal saint. Then do you know why the three Saint Realms are so desperate to kill me? Jian Wushuang asked with a smile. Demon Master Chen Hua was stunned. Many thoughts appeared in his mind, but he quickly thought of the most likely possibility. As far as I know, the three Saint Realms have never been so desperate to deal with someone, but now they are dealing with you. Do the three Saint Realms think you can threaten their status? Demon Master Chen was said with a serious expression. As he said this, he found it hard to believe. How ancient were the three Saint Realms in the divine beginning realm? And how powerful were they? They had the power of the will of the heavenly Tao. They were the true rulers of the divine beginning realm. For a long time, no one had been able to subvert the notice of the three Saint Realms, even if it was the three Freedom Alliances, although the three Freedom Alliances were so powerful that even the three Saint Realms feared them. No matter how powerful the three Saint Realms were, they could not threaten the status of the three Saint Realms. Yet a single cultivator, and he was just an immortal saint, was able to pose such a great threat to the three great Saint Realms. Was this possible? Chapter 3366, Persuasion Part 3. You're right. The reason why the three Saint Realms are so desperate to kill me is because I can threaten their position. To be more precise, am a great threat to the will of heaven behind them. Jian Wushuang's voice was low. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should know that the will of the heavenly Tao is behind the three Saint Realms. With the support of the will of the heavenly Tao, it's almost impossible to shake the position of the three Saint Realms. Even if you're extremely talented and will break through to the ruler level in the future, as long as the will of the heavenly Tao exists, you'll never be able to pose a real threat to the three Saint Realms. But I can. Jian Wushuang spoke with absolute confidence. What he said was the truth. In the divine beginning realm, with the support of the will of the heavenly Tao, almost no one could threaten the three Saint Realms. Not even a master-level expert. For example, the three Freedom Alliances had a master-level expert behind them, but they had been helpless against the three Saint Realms. Demon Master Chen Hua am the only one in the divine beginning realm who can pose a threat to the will of the heavenly Tao. Although am still weak, given a certain amount of time, I can destroy the will of the heavenly Tao and destroy the three Saint Realms at the same time. Your enemy happens to be the Flame Saint Realm of the three Saint Realms. So, we can join forces, Jian Wushuang said. Join hands? How? Demon Master Chen Hua asked. As I said, what I need now is time, but the three Saint Realms will not let me grow like this. They will certainly try to hinder my growth, and even fight to the death with some special means to kill me. At this time, of course, I need some help, Jian Wushuang said. Demon Master Chen Hua had clearly understood Jian Wushuang's intention. Boy, don't tell me you want me to be your bodyguard. I can be considered a bodyguard, but to be exact, you and I are equal. You protect me so that I can continue to grow. When my strength reaches a certain level, I will destroy the Flame Saint Realm and avenge your Amethyst Demon Sect. How about it? Jian Wushuang said. Upon hearing this, Demon Master Chen Hua sneered. Boy, do you want me to be by your side and be your guard? Putting aside whether you can really pose such a great threat to the will of the heavenly Tao and the three Saint Realms, even if you can, who knows how long it will take. If you need tens of millions of years, hundreds of millions of years, wouldn't I have to guard you for so many years? You want me to be your guard with just a few words. You're dreaming. Demon Master Chen Hua, you should already have an answer to whether I can threaten the will of heaven and the three Saint Realms in the future. As for the time required, it's not as long as you think. I can guarantee that within 100,000 years, I will destroy the Flame Saint Realm. If I can't do it, or if you don't see my progress in these 100,000 years and feel that there's no hope You can leave at any time. 100,000 years. Jian Wushuang said. 100,000 years. Demon Master Chenhua looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. You're just an immortal saint now. How can you reach that level in just 100,000 years? I'm confident. Jian Wushuang smiled. In fact, Jian Wushuang was not very confident. Although 100,000 years was not a short time, it was very, very difficult for him to reach the point where he could threaten the will of the heavenly Tao and shake the three saint realms. As for why Jian Wushuang was so confident, it was because he had learned from the temporal temple master that the three saint realms could invite outside help at the overlord level. According to his guess, if the three saint realms really invited outside help, then 100,000 years would have passed. At that time, if he had not reached the stage where he could threaten the will of the heavenly Tao and shake the three saint realms, then it would be the same with or without the protection of Demon Master Chenhua. Seeing the confidence on Jian Wushuang's face, Demon Master Chenhua began to ponder. With this thought, Jian Wushuang saw that there was hope. He immediately continued, Demon Master Chenhua, if you are willing to join hands with me and follow me, I will find a way to make you a consecrator of my temporal temple. This consecrator is a special existence in the temporal temple. He can disobey the orders of my temporal temple, but he can enjoy many of the benefits of my temporal temple, such as the Amethyst Demon Sect. Although the Amethyst Demon Sect has been destroyed for so many years, there were still quite a number of people who survived that battle. Most of these experts who survived have probably died, but it's not certain that no one left behind. Perhaps there are still experts left behind by the Amethyst Demon Sect hiding in the divine beginning realm. And if you become a consecrator of my temporal temple, you can ask my temporal temple to help find the traces of these people. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Although the intelligence ability of the temporal temple is not the best in the divine beginning realm, it is still very good. As long as you give the order, the intelligence department can secretly find the people left behind by the Amethyst Demon Sect without the Flame Saint Realm noticing it in advance. After saying that, Jian Wushuang looked at Demon Master Chen Hua again. At this moment, Demon Master Chen Hua was already moved. Indeed, just as Jian Wushuang said, he valued the Amethyst Demon Sect very much. Because of that, after the destruction of the Amethyst Demon Sect, he hated the Flame Saint Realm to the extreme. He wanted to avenge the Amethyst Demon Sect. He wanted to completely destroy the Flame Saint Realm, and he wanted to kill the Flame Saint Master. However, with his ability, it was very difficult for him to pose a threat to the Flame Saint Realm, let alone completely destroy it. Even if he was lucky enough to break through to the ruler level in the future, he was only qualified to be on equal footing with the Flame Saint Realm. With the power of the will of heaven, it was still impossible for him to destroy the Flame Saint Realm. But now, Jian Wushuang's appearance gave him a glimmer of hope. Although this hope seemed very small and strange, it was indeed the only chance for him to avenge the Amethyst Demon Sect. Of course, he wanted to seize the last chance. In addition, Jian Wushuang also said that he only needed to protect them for 100,000 years. If there was no hope within 100,000 years, he could leave at any time. 100,000 years was insignificant to him, who had stayed in the secret land of heaven and earth for nearly 200 million years. Moreover, the authority Jian Wushuang mentioned in the end made Demon Master Chen Hua even more tempted. After hesitating for a long time, Demon Master Chen Hua finally nodded and said, "Okay, I agree." Chapter 3367. Guard Jian Wushuang was overjoyed when he saw Demon Master Chen Hua agree. Demon Master Chen Hua was a super expert of the 6 realms of the void, and he was once a genius elder with great talent. He was completely alone in this secret realm of heaven and earth without any experience. His strength had improved so much. One could imagine how fast he would improve if he left the secret realm of heaven and earth and went to the divine beginning realm to fight with experts. Without a doubt, Demon Master Chen was qualified to strive for the master level. However, such a super expert would stay by his side and be his guard for the next 100,000 years. How could Jian Wushuang not be surprised? Boy, your name is Heavenly Sword Marquis, right? Demon Master Chen looked at Jian Wushuang again. Don't be happy too early. Let me be clear. Although I promise to stay by your side and be your guard for the next 100,000 years, all I have to do is to protect you. I may not help you with other things. Moreover, you are now highly valued by the three Saint Realms. The three Saint Realms will certainly try to kill you again. If I can handle it, I will help you. But if I can't handle it, and even my life is in danger, don't blame me for running away. Of course, although you are my guard, you have an equal relationship with me. If I want you to do something for me, I will ask for your opinion in advance. If you don't want to, I will not force you, Ian Wushuang said with a smile. He did not feel regretful. He knew that it was impossible for him to command Demon Master Chen like an ordinary guard. However, as long as Demon Master Chen agreed to protect him with all his strength, it was enough, not to mention anything else. A super expert of the sixth realm of the void was enough to intimidate his opponent. Demon Master Chen now that it's settled, we're on the same side. Can you tell me what level your strength has been in all these years? Jian Wushuang suddenly asked. He was indeed quite curious about the strength of Demon Master Chen Through his previous attacks, although he knew that Demon Master Chen had the battle strength of the sixth realm of the void, he did not know how powerful Demon Master Chen was among the six realms of the void. He also had control over the specific power of his will. Jian Wushuang wanted to have a certain understanding of the rules he comprehended. My strength should be at the peak of the six void realms, Demon Master Chen said. The peak of the six void realms. Jian Wushuang was stunned. Although the six void realms were at the same level, there was a huge gap in strength. Temple Master Bai Xing and Star River Master could only be considered normal or average among the six void realms. As for the four ancient immortals who had followed the temporal Temple Master to sweep through the six realms, these four ancient existences were considered extremely powerful existences among the six realms of the void. They should be considered at the peak level. As for those above the four ancient immortals, they were at the level of Elder Darkbone. Elder Darkbone was someone who could fight against a Saint Realm Master. His strength could be said to have reached the peak among the six realms of the void. As a peak existence among the six void realms, Demon Master Chen was no weaker than Old Monster Abyssal Bone. However, he was no weaker than the four ancient immortals. Demon Master Chen since you are at the peak of the six void realms, your comprehension of the principles, Jian Wushuang looked over. They've mastered the three principles of darkness, wind, and slaughter at the same time, and the three principles have been completely merged together. In addition, I have opened the secret realm of heaven and earth, so I naturally have mastered six portions of the power of the will. Now, I am still focused on studying the principles of the earth, and I have already comprehended most of them. I should be able to master the seventh portion of the power of the will in a short time. By then, I will be able to improve my strength and reach the peak of the six void realms. Demon Master Chen said. Demon Master Chen said. Jian Wushuang could not help but raise his eyebrows. The level of Principles Master was usually determined by the power of the will. However, because Principles Master was only in the six realms of the void, Even if you had mastered 7 parts of the power of the will, you could only be in the 6 realms of the void. However, it had already reached the peak. Because if you integrated 4 principles at the same time, you would be at the ruler level. For example, Elder Darkbone had mastered 7 parts of the power of will. The gap between Demon Master Darkbone and Master of the Earth principles was very small. This meant that he was very close to Elder Darkbone. With such a powerful principles master as a guard, I really made a lot of money. Jian Wushuang laughed in his heart. Then he asked, Demon Master Chen Hua, I entered the secret realm of heaven and earth for the opportunity treasures left by the Amethyst Demon Sect. You should know where they are, right? If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Of course I do. Those resources and treasures were accumulated by the Amethyst Demon Sect over a long period of time. They are in my hands. Do you want them? Demon Master Chen Hua's eyes were sharp. He stared at Jian Wushuang. You have them. Jian Wushuang smiled. Then he continued, Don't misunderstand. I'm not interested in this batch of treasures. I came here under orders. As for whether I can get this batch of treasures in the end, I don't care too much. But if possible, I hope you can find a few things that the immortal saint can use or opportunities that can help him. An opportunity or treasure that can help the immortal saint. The Demon Master Chen Hua's expression changed. You're also an immortal saint. Why do you want to use it for yourself? Of course not. With my strength, I can't use treasures or opportunities at the immortal saint realm. However, I have a few saint realm friends outside the secret realm. They were the first to find the secret realm. I promised them that I would give them some opportunities. Jian Wushuang said, Is that so? Demon Master Chen Hua nodded slightly. It's just a few opportunities or treasures that the immortal saints can use. It doesn't matter much. I can give you some so that you can share it with them. Thank you very much. Jian Wushuang could not help but smile. In fact, with his current status and the fact that he had killed many principles masters in the battle more than 400 years ago, he had a lot of resources and treasures, but the immortal saints could use very few of them. Therefore, he could only ask the Demon Master Chen Hua for some. After the 2 of them reached an agreement, they did not continue to stay in the secret realm. Instead, they left directly. Chapter 3368, looking for someone in the Amethyst Fog Sea, around the secret realm of heaven and earth. Many sergeants of the patrol team and experts of the Xiaoyao mansion were waiting quietly. Suddenly, the void rippled, and a space passage appeared out of thin air. Then 2 figures stepped out of the space passage, one after another. Jian Wushuang was fine when he saw the 2 figures, but when the people around him saw Demon Master Chen Hua, they were all shocked, especially the principal's masters who had entered the secret realm of heaven and earth. Previously in the secret realm of heaven and earth, they were completely shocked by the monstrous strength displayed by Demon Master Chen Hua. They were all filled with fear and fear towards him. Now, seeing that Demon Master Chen Hua had actually walked out of the secret realm of heaven and earth, they naturally could not calm down. Jian Wushuang saw the gazes of the surrounding people and immediately smiled. Everyone, don't be too nervous. Demon Master Chen Hua is now one of us. One of us. Everyone was stunned. Jian Wushuang did not explain too much. Instead, he looked directly at Marquis Xiaoyao, who was beside him. Marquis Xiaoyao, we were wrong. There are no opportunities or treasures in the secret land of heaven and earth, and our temporal temple did not get anything. Naturally, your trip to the Xiaoyao mansion will be in vain. Marquis Zaiweo's expression changed. He took a deep look at Jian Wushuang, and then looked at Demon Master Chen Hua. Although he knew it was not that simple, he did not intend to pursue the matter any further. Let's go. Marquis Xiaoyao waved his hand and left with the people of Xiaoyao Mansion. After the people of Xiaoyao Mansion let Duan Lang, this is for you. Take it and divide it among yourselves. Jian Wushuang took out an interspatial ring and handed it to Duan Lang. Duan Lang and you looked at each other in bewilderment. Brother Heavenly Marquis, didn't you say that you didn't get the opportunity treasure left by the amethyst demon sect in the secret realm? Duan Lang asked. No, but I did get something else. It's not a small gain. As the people who discovered the secret realm, you deserve it, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. It was true that he did not get the opportunity treasure left by the amethyst demon sect in the secret realm, but he did get a helper at the peak of the 6 void realms, which was more than enough for him. It was much more valuable than obtaining a lot of resources and treasures. Zhentong. Jian Wushuang looked at Zhentong Master, who was beside him. Now that I know what happened in the Amethyst Fog Sea, I'll let you lead the patrol team back to the camp. As for me, I still have some private matters to deal with in the second heaven. I'll come back when I'm done. Yes. Zhentong Master nodded respectfully. Although the patrol ambassadors were the leaders of the patrol teams, they were usually quite relaxed because they rarely went out on missions. Now, Jian Wushuang had to deal with some private matters in the second heaven. He was allowed to do so, as long as he could come back in time when the mission was given. Just like that, after leaving the Amethyst Fog Sea, they parted ways. Zhentong Master led the patrol team back to the camp, while Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who stayed in the second heaven, above the vast void, Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who flew slowly. Demon Master Chenhua, I have reported your matter to Temple Master Bai Xing of the Temporal Temple. Temple Master Bai Xing has promised you a position of worship. In addition, Temple Master Bai Xing has also instructed the Intelligence Department of the Temporal Temple to look for the experts left behind by the Amethyst Demon Sect. However, we can't be sure how long it will take to find them. Jian Wushuang said. Yes. Demon Master Chen, who nodded slightly, then said, From today on, I'm your guard. You don't have to call me Demon Master Chenhua anymore. Just call me Chenhua. Chenhua? Sure. Jian Wushuang smiled faintly. Heavenly Sword Marquis, where do you want to go now? Demon Master Chen asked. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. You'll know when we get there. Jian Wushuang kept him guessing. Demon Master Chen, who did not ask further. He followed Jian Wushuang forward. During this time, Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who had teleported several times and arrived at an even faster speed. Just a day later, they arrived at their destination. It was a grand canyon surrounded by mountains. There were towering peaks around it. At a glance, there seemed to be no less than dozens of them. However, these peaks were arranged in a unique way. The surrounding canyon was completely covered. The peaks and the canyon were connected to the magic array in a special way, making it look like a whole. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who stood in the void near the canyon. They looked down at the canyon, but because of the restrictive magic array, even they could not see the inside of the canyon. If I remember correctly, this place should be the supreme emotion-forgetting valley, right? Demon Master Chen, who looked at Jian Wushuang. Chenhua, you've been alone in the secret land of heaven and earth for nearly 200 million years. You almost forgot your own name, but you can still recognize this sex lair. It's rare, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Nonsense. I was an elder of the Amethyst Demon Sect, and the Amethyst Demon Sect is one of the overlords of the second heaven. Of course, I pay attention to the other overlords and some top forces in the second heaven, especially the supreme emotion-forgetting valley. It's the only existence in the second heaven that even the amethyst demon sect fears. Moreover, when I was young, I had dealings with the supreme emotion-forgetting valley. I'd been to the mountain gate of the valley a few times, so of course I remember it, Demon Master Chen said. Is that so? Jian Wushuang understood. But I've been in the secret land of heaven and earth for too long. I wonder what has happened to the valley. Who is the current valley master? Demon Master Chen asked. The current valley master of the valley is called Longyu, Jian Wushuang said. He had already gotten some information about the valley from the temporal temple. He knew about the valley master and some experts of the valley. He had a good understanding of them. Longyu? It's this overbearing woman? Demon Master Chen raised his eyebrows. Apparently, he knew the current valley master of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. By the way, Heavenly Sword Marquis, what are you doing in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley? Demon Master Chen asked. Looking for someone, Jian Wushuang said. Looking for someone? Who? Demon Master Chen asked. My wife, Lung Wushuang. Jian Wushuang said. Wife? Demon Master Chen was stunned. Jian Wushuang did not hide anything and simply told Demon Master Chen about his wife. Chapter 3369. Was finally here, Heavenly Sword Marquis. Are you saying that your wife was brought here many years ago by the people of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley because she is suitable to cultivate the supreme divine skill of the valley? Demon Master Chen looked at Jian Wushuang. Yes, Jian Wushuang nodded. That's not right, is it? Demon Master Chen frowned. Most of the secret skills in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley require one to abandon emotion. As for the supreme skill, it is said that only those who are absolutely pure in heart and have not been touched by the secular world are qualified to cultivate it. If the person you are looking for is really your wife, how could she not be touched by the secular world and have no emotion at all? She is indeed my wife, but she is from my previous life. When we entered the reincarnation passage at the same time, my memory of my previous life was not affected at all. However, her memory seems to have disappeared, so she doesn't know who I am in this life, Jian Wushuang said. Is that so? Demon Master Chen raised his eyebrows, and then said, Heavenly Sword Marquis, if we do as you say, this matter will be troublesome. First of all, your wife has lost her memory of her previous life, so she can't recognize you at all. Moreover, since she has already come to the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley to cultivate the divine skill, it's fine if she hasn't made any progress or achievements in the divine skill, but once she has cultivated the divine skill to a certain level, she won't have any feelings at all. At this point, even if she has restored her memory of her previous life, I'm afraid it won't be of any use. Well, no, that's why I cultivated to this level as soon as possible, and came here to ask for her right after I had a certain level of strength, Jian Wushuang said in a deep voice. He had been very worried. He was worried that if his wife cultivated the divine skill to a certain level and completely abandoned all emotions, her memories from her previous life would never be found again, and even if they were found, they would be immediately discarded. That was why he had seized every opportunity to increase his strength. He wanted to reach the point where he could face the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley head-on as soon as possible. But now, he had already reached this step. Heavenly Sword Marquis, what do you plan to do? Demon Master Chen looked over. First of all, I have to remind you that although the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley is only an overlord of the second heaven, it is different from other sects of the second heaven. The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley has a very deep foundation, and there has always been an extremely terrifying old monster hiding there. It is very difficult to provoke. Of course, Jian Wushuang knew who the old monster was. It was the old Valley Master in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley who had mastered the supreme divine skill. Jian Wushuang now knew more about the old Valley Master. Moreover, he had heard from Temple Master Bai Xing that once the old Valley Master went crazy, even experts at the level of the three Saint Realm Masters and Temporal Temple Master would have a headache. Don't worry, I know my own strength. I won't be so stupid as to go to the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley and take my wife away. However, with my current strength and status, the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley won't dare to look down on me. I can pay a visit to the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley first, and see if there are any other ways for me to take my wife away. No matter what they offer, I can agree to it. But if Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley doesn't give me any chance to negotiate, then it's not my fault. Jian Wushuang's eyes were shining with a fierce light. Upon hearing this, Demon Master Chen, who narrowed his eyes slightly but did not say anything more. Let's go down. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who descended directly toward the entrance of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. As soon as Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen landed on the open space at the entrance of the valley, several disciples of the valley immediately went up to greet them. Most of the disciples of the valley were women. The female disciple in the lead asked, "Who are you and why are you here?" "Please go in and inform them that the 6th Inspector of the Temporal Temple, Heavenly Sword Marquis, is here to pay a visit," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. "Heavenly Sword Marquis." The female disciple immediately raised her head and looked at Jian Wushuang in shock. Jian Wushuang was too famous now. From the high and mighty principles masters to the ordinary cultivators in the divine beginning realm, most of them had heard of his name. As for the disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, they naturally knew of Jian Wushuang. When they learned that the immortal saint was the famous Heavenly Sword Marquis, the disciples were shocked, but the female disciple quickly calmed down. "Please wait a moment. Illinois, go in and report immediately." The female disciple rushed into the valley as fast as she could. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen were not in a hurry. They waited quietly at the entrance of the valley. In a quiet attic in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, Longyu, the Valley Master of the Valley, was living there. At this moment, Heavenly Sword Marquis, if you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Dressed in a plain robe, Longyu stood up with a cold expression. "Did you really see him? Is he really here to visit?" "I didn't see him myself. I came to see you as soon as I received the report. But now, Heavenly Sword Marquis is very famous in the divine beginning realm. Besides, almost all the sects and forces have seen the mirror image of the collision between Heavenly Sword Marquis and the three saint realms. They all know what he looks like. Therefore, there should be no one pretending to be him." Standing in front of Longyu was a black-clothed woman. The black-clothed woman was an elder of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, and she was also a principal's master. What should have come has come. Longyu narrowed her eyes slightly. "Valley Master, which one is Heavenly Sword Marquis coming for?" The black-clothed woman asked. "Who else can it be for?" Longyu glanced at the black-clothed woman and sighed inwardly. She had long known that Jian Wushuang would come to her one day. Jian Wushuang had saved the genius disciple Han Xian in the Bloodwave realm. Later, he asked her about Long Rushuang, which alerted her. When she returned to the valley, Han Xian reported the matter to Longyu, who immediately ordered people to investigate. As the mirror image of Jian Wushuang fighting with the three saint realms spread in the divine beginning realm, the principal's master, who had taken Long Rushuang away in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, recognized Jian Wushuang at a glance. Back in the Golden Crow Nine realms, Jian Wushuang had revealed his life-level pressure and summoned the power of the will of heaven to suppress Lung Rushuang in order to prevent the people of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley from taking her away. Immediately after, countless experts from the three saint realms descended. The Rule Master had witnessed all of this, and he had always remembered Jian Wushuang. Therefore, when he saw the mirror image of Jian Wushuang again, he immediately confirmed Jian Wushuang's identity. Chapter 3370. Closed the door and disappeared when our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley brought that person back. We were stopped by this heavenly sword marquis. However, at that time, he was too weak and was not even a saint. He was not even in our eyes. Who would have thought that in less than 1,000 years, this heavenly sword marquis' strength had improved to the point that even our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley had to pay attention to him. Also, he has an extraordinary status in the Temporal Temple. I heard that even the Temporal Temple Master thinks highly of him. Valley Master Longyu narrowed her eyes slightly. Jian Wushuang's growth speed was indeed beyond their imagination. But now that Jian Wushuang had come to visit her, it was a headache for her. Valley Master, Heavenly Sword Marquis is outside the valley, and he came to visit openly. Are we going to meet him or not? The black-clothed woman asked. No. Longyu waved her hand. We know his purpose, so we can't let him in. Otherwise, with his character and strength, if he goes crazy in our valley won't be able to bear the consequences. You tell him that we have some internal affairs to deal with, and we have to close our doors and refuse visitors. Later, Longyu will visit him personally. Understood. The black-clothed woman nodded and rushed out of the valley. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who were still waiting in the open space at the entrance of the valley. Finally, the black-clothed woman walked out. Elder Ling Yi of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley greets Mr. Heavenly Sword Marquis. May I know who this is? The black-clothed woman bowed to Jian Wushuang humbly, and then looked at Demon Master Chen Hua. The black-clothed woman was also a principal's master. Although she was not strong, she could still feel the invisible pressure brought by Demon Master Chen Hua. She could tell that Demon Master Chen Hua was not weak. This is my guard. As for his name, I won't mention it, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Guard. The black-clothed woman was shocked, and her mind was full of thoughts. Although the old man beside Heavenly Sword Marquis did not emit any aura from the pressure he gave me, he must be at least an expert of the third or fourth realm of the void. How could such an expert be willing to be his guard? It seems that the Temporal Temple places more importance on him than I expected. Elder Ling Yi, we came here specially to visit. May we go in now? Jian Wushuang asked. TM, sorry, but I have to deal with some matters in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. I'm in the middle of meeting with the guests, so I can only thank you for your kindness. But don't worry. My Valley Master said that after some time, he will come to apologize to you personally. The black-clothed woman Ling Yi said. Hearing this, Jian Wushuang frowned. He wanted to enter the valley first and discuss with the Valley Master and the other high-level officials to see if there was any room for negotiation. Even if the valley offered some harsh conditions, he could accept it. But he did not expect that he would be refused entry. The higher-ups of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley did not see him at all. They only sent Elder Ling Yi to get rid of him. Elder Ling Yi, I am now the 6th Inspector of the Temporal Temple. I represent not only myself, but also the Temporal Temple behind me. This time, I specially came to visit the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, but I did not even enter the door. Isn't that a little unreasonable? Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold. Humph! The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley is still so arrogant. Even the inspector of the Temporal Temple was denied entry. Demon Master Chen was snorted coldly. "I'm sorry. It's not that I don't know my limits. If there are some private matters in the valley, it's not convenient for outsiders to enter." Elder Ling Yi insisted. "Oh." Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly. "How long will it take for the valley to finish the matters?" "I don't know. It may take at least a few years, at most a few hundred years, or even 1,000 years. In short, before the matters in the valley are settled, the valley will not see outsiders. Moreover, the valley master has ordered that the mountain gate will be completely sealed immediately." "Elder Ling," he said. Jian Wushuang's expression changed, but then he smiled and said, "In that case, I'll pay you a visit after you've dealt with the internal affairs of your supreme emotion-forgetting valley." After saying that, Jian Wushuang glanced at Demon Master Chenhua and said, "Let's go." The two immediately left. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Seeing them leave, Elder Ling Yi revealed a strange smile and returned to the valley. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who did not walk far in the void around the valley, but they stopped. "Chenhua, do you think that there are some private matters in the valley that are inconvenient for outsiders to enter?" Jian Wushuang looked at Chenhua. "Of course, it must be fake." Demon Master Chen Hui smiled. "Think it's fake too?" Jian Wushuang nodded slightly. If something really happened in the valley, the disciples at the gate would not look so relaxed. Moreover, if the valley really closed the door to visit me, the disciples at the gate would have told me. But when they didn't, the disciple immediately went in to report it. Apparently, the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley did not close their doors to me, at least not before I came. But after I came to visit, the people of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley deliberately said that because they did not want me to enter the valley. "It's like this." Demon Master Chen was smiled and said, "The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley obviously knows your purpose of coming here, so they deliberately refused to let you in. But you can't even enter the valley, so how can you take your wife away?" "Humph, they won't let me in. Can't I think of another way?" Jian Wushuang snorted. "What way?" Demon Master Chen glanced at Jian Wushuang. He immediately said, "Heavenly Sword Marquis, I have to warn you first. Don't think of barging into the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley and taking your wife away by force. The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley is not to be trifled with. Moreover, I'm afraid that you can't break the sect-protecting formation of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. It's a bad idea to break into the valley by force, but since they don't want me to enter the valley, can't I find a way to make them come to see me outside the valley?" Jian Wushuang smiled strangely. Chapter 3371. Force them to come out. You mean force them to come out? Demon Master Chen asked with a strange look on his face. "This is the sect of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. There should be many experts or disciples of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley around the sect. As long as we capture a group of them, there's no need to worry about Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley being in a hurry," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. "That's a good idea, but I'm afraid that you won't be able to attract the attention of the highest level of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley just by capturing a few disciples. At the very least, you'll have to capture 1 or 2 principals masters," Demon Master Chen said. "As long as you capture disciples, are you afraid that you won't attract big fish?" Jian Wushuang smiled and said, "Let's go." Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen left. As one of the overlords of the second heaven, the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley was superior to the previous Xiaoyao Mansion in terms of both strength and foundation. The territory controlled by the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley was also very vast. In one of the restaurants in a bustling city around the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen who were sitting by the window. They were looking at a team in the market, not far away. The team was made up of women. Judging from their attire, it was obvious that they were from Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Chen Hua, it's up to you, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. There are 8 people in total. The strongest one is only a rank 5 true saint. I'm not in the mood to fight such a little guy. Demon Master Chenhua refused directly. This was normal. Demon Master Chenhua was a super expert at the peak of the 6th void realm. Such super experts would more or less pay attention to their status. For them, even if they were asked to fight a peak saint or an invincible saint, but now he was asked to fight 8 true saints who were only at the 5th rank. Of course, he did not want to. If you don't fight, do you want me to go? Jian Wushuang rolled his eyes at Demon Master Chenhua. He said, I'm now too famous in the divine beginning realm. If I fight, it's hard to guarantee that I won't be recognized. Once the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley knows that in the one who's arresting people, let alone sending experts, they might immediately recall all their disciples. Then our plan will not work. It's your plan. It has nothing to do with me. Demon Master Chenhua curled his lips. Forget it. Let it do it. Demon Master Chenhua waved his hand, and a burly figure immediately appeared in front of Jian Wushuang. This is Puppet Fighter. Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. This is a puppet fighter left behind by the Amethyst Demon Sect. Although it's not very strong and is only at the level of an ordinary invincible saint, it's more than enough to capture these little guys from the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, Demon Master Chenhua said. A puppet fighter at the level of an invincible saint. A smile appeared on Jian Wushuang's face. At the same time, he praised, as expected of the Amethyst Demon Sect. Its foundation is indeed extraordinary. I'm afraid that in its heyday, the Amethyst Demon Sect should have even a puppet fighter at the level of a principal's master, right? Demon Master Chen was snorted and did not answer. He just gave an order to the puppet fighter. Go and capture the 8 of you who are wearing the same clothes. Remember, only capture and suppress them alive. Don't kill them. This is a top-tier holy treasure for suppression. Just suppress them inside. Demon Master Chenhua also gave a mini palace to the puppet fighter. Under the order of Demon Master Chenhua, the puppet fighter immediately set off. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua watched quietly in the restaurant. When they saw the puppet fighter appear in front of the 8 disciples of Forget Love Valley, they immediately attacked without saying anything. They attacked the disciples of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley directly in the city near the gate of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. The 8 disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley were also shocked. They did not expect to be attacked here. They immediately reported to the sect and fought with the puppet fighter. However, in this fight, the invincible Saint Puppet Fighter swept the 8 disciples away. The 8 disciples wanted to escape, but the invincible Saint Puppet Fighter took out the mini palace and used its suppressive power. In an instant, all 8 of them were suppressed. After doing all this, the puppet fighter at the level of the invincible saint returned to Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua. Let's go. We'll go to the next place to catch them, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Immediately, he and Demon Master Chenhua wandered around the cities around the mountain gate of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Every time they came to a city, they would look for the disciples or experts of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. As soon as they found one, they would immediately have the saint-level puppet fighter take action and suppress it. It had to be said that the strength of the puppet fighter that the Deep Fire Demon Master took out was indeed not bad. It was not inferior to human cultivators at the Invincible Saint realm. In addition, with the help of the top-tier Holy Treasure-level suppression-type treasure, It was very easy to suppress the disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Even if it encountered a peak saint, it could not escape from this puppet fighter. In just half a day, that Saint Realm puppet fighter had suppressed nearly 40 disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Among them, there were 1 peak saint, 3 rank 7 true saints, and the rest were all ordinary disciples below rank 7. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. And this puppet fighter had suppressed the disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley so brazenly in front of everyone, and it was in the vicinity of the mountain gate of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. This naturally caused the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley to be furious. The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley immediately sent experts over to kill them. It was still in a city near the mountain gate of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. That invincible Saint Realm puppet fighter had just suppressed 4 disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. In the end, just as he was about to return to the side of the demon master Chen, a spatial tunnel suddenly appeared in the void of this city. Following that, no less than 10 figures stepped out of the spatial tunnel at the same time. Each of these figures had a strong aura. The weakest one was an expert above the peak saint realm, and the 2 principals masters were in the lead. When they arrived, they immediately surrounded the invincible saint puppet fighter, Jian Wushuang and demon master Chen, who hid their auras in a corner of the city. When they saw the 10-odd figures from Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, they smiled. Heavenly Sword Marquis, the big fish you've been waiting for is finally here. The 2 principals masters, together with so many peak saints and invincible saints, it seems that Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley is also very cautious. They know that this matter might not be so simple, so they sent so many experts at once. Demon Master Chen was said with a smile. It's big fish, and the 2 principals masters in the lead happen to be 2 acquaintances of mine. Jian Wushuang said, "Acquaintances?" Demon Master Chen, who was surprised. Jian Wushuang's eyes were extremely sharp as he looked at the 2 figures in the center of the void, who were emitting the aura of principals masters. Chapter 3372. Acquaintances. The first of the 2 was Han Xian, whom he had saved in the Bloodwave realm. Han Xian was a genius disciple of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. When she was in the Bloodwave realm, she had obtained another Bloodwave token and had broken through to become a principal's master. However, because she had just broken through not long ago, she had not had the time to open her own secret realm. So she was only a principal's master in the Void realm. She only had one part of the power of the will. As for the other person, it was a long time ago. It was the first time Jian Wushuang met someone from the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley in the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion in the Golden Crow 9 realms. In order to prevent them from taking his wife, Lung Rushuang, away, they fought when he used the heaven-cleaving skill to sweep the surroundings. It was the principal's master who stopped him. At that time, the principal's master only sent his consciousness doppelganger, but even so, he could still easily crush Jian Wushuang. It was because of the appearance of the principal's master's consciousness doppelganger that the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley was able to take his wife away in front of Jian Wushuang. Now, Jian Wushuang did not expect that it would be such a coincidence. The expert sent by the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley was the principal's master who had sent the consciousness clone. This principal's master should be the Zhu Xian master of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Jian Wushuang had long known the identity of this principal's master. Among the principal's masters of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, Zhu Xian master could only be considered as an ordinary principal's master. Her strength had been stuck at the level of the 2 void realms, and her methods were not too excessive. Han Xian, together with Zhu Xian master, they are indeed 2 big fish. As long as we can suppress them, Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley will not be nervous. As for their Valley Master, no matter how unwilling she is, she has to come and see us. Jian Wushuang sneered. Let's go. If we want to suppress these two principles masters, we have to do it ourselves. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen Hua immediately dashed toward the void in front of them. In the void, many experts of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, led by Han Xian and Zhu Xian, had surrounded the invincible Saint Puppet Fighter in the center, but they were not in a hurry to attack. Is this the person who is unscrupulously suppressing the disciples of our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley? Zhu Xian stared at the puppet fighter with a cold gaze. Martial uncle, something isn't right. Although this person's aura is quite extraordinary, there isn't the slightest bit of life aura on his body, Han Xian said. If nothing unexpected happens, the person in front of us should only be a puppet fighter. He is only obeying the orders of his master. As for the person who is truly against our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, there is someone else, and he must be nearby, Zhu Xian Master said coldly. She had just finished speaking. Ha! Zhu Xian Master, you're really smart. A hearty laughter suddenly rang out. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen Hua had already appeared in the void beside them. When they saw who it was, Zhu Xian Master and Han Xin's expressions instantly changed. Heavenly Sword Marquis? Han Xian looked at Jian Wushuang in astonishment. It's you. It's him. Zhu Xian Master's body shook violently. She knew about Heavenly Sword Marquis, who was famous throughout the divine, beginning realm more than 400 years ago. She had recognized him as the little guy who had stopped her from leaving with Long Rushuang in the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion. At that time, Jian Wushuang was indeed just a little guy. Although he had shown extraordinary abilities, she had not taken him seriously. But now, that little guy had grown to a level that even she was extremely afraid of. Heavenly Sword Marquis, is this puppet fighter yours? Han Xian stared at Jian Wushuang. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Sort of. Jian Wushuang nodded with a smile. Did you order this puppet fighter to suppress the disciples of our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley in the surrounding territory? Han Xian asked again. Yes, Jian Wushuang admitted directly. Why? Why did you do that? Han Xian frowned. Because Jian Wushuang had saved her life in the Bloodwave realm, Han Xian subconsciously thought that Jian Wushuang and the Great Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley should be friends, but not enemies. Therefore, she did not understand why Jian Wushuang did this now. My purpose is actually very simple. Although you don't know it, the top experts of your Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, such as Valley Master Long Yu, must know it, and the Zhu Xian Master, who is beside you, might also be able to guess it, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you deliberately let your puppet fighter suppress the disciples of our valley. Your purpose should be to lure Han Xian and me out, right? We are your real targets, Master Zhu Xian said in a cold voice. You're half right. I did use this puppet fighter to lure the principals, masters of our valley out. As for my real purpose, it's not you, but as long as I suppress you too, my purpose will be achieved, Jian Wushuang said with a smile. You want to suppress the two of us? With just you? Zhu Xian Master's eyes turned cold. Her face was also filled with anger. She waved her sleeve, and a large amount of divine power swept out, turning into a huge divine power storm that swept toward Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen Hua. However, after Zhu Xian Master had done all this, she did not wait for the divine power storm to reach Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen Hua. She turned her head and shouted at the same time, Han Xian, run! She did not hesitate at all. The moment she saw Jian Wushuang, she knew his real purpose. At the same time, she also knew his strength and means. Jian Wushuang alone was not enough for her and Han Xian to fight him, not to mention that Jian Wushuang had an unfathomable principles master by his side. Therefore, Zhu Xian did not intend to fight Jian Wushuang in the first place. She was just pretending to be angry to pave the way for her and Han Xian to escape. Now, as the divine storm swept toward Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua, she and Han Xian immediately fled backward. As for the Peak Saints, they also fled in all directions. You want to escape? It's not that easy. Jian Wushuang smiled coldly. A large amount of space-time principle power rose from his body. Then he reached out his right hand and made a strange cut in the void in front of him, one finger painting the sky, space-time prison. Buzz! With that simple cut, the space-time principle's power condensed in Jian Wushuang's body instantly surged up and swept out in all directions like waves. In just a moment, it covered the entire secret realm of heaven and earth. Chapter 3373. Suppression. Is this space-time imprisonment? Zhu Xian Master, who was fleeing frantically, sensed the changes in the surrounding space-time immediately and was shocked. How is this possible? How did you master space-time imprisonment so quickly after cultivating for so long? There are many things you don't know. Jian Wushuang smiled and appeared in front of Master Zhu Xian and Han Xian in the blink of an eye. Then he waved his hand and an ancient blood-red tower appeared out of thin air. It expanded rapidly, and a majestic aura spread out from the bottom of the tower. A true treasure, a suppression-type true treasure. Zhu Xian Master and Han Xian were immediately terrified. They were principles masters after all. Although they knew that their strength was inferior to Jian Wushuang, they thought that it would be very difficult for Jian Wushuang to kill or suppress them. However, with the help of a suppression-type true treasure, it was completely different. Suppression-type true treasures were used to suppress experts. Under normal circumstances, as long as the difference in strength between the two sides was huge, the stronger side could completely rely on the suppression-type true treasure to suppress the weaker side. So, what if you have a suppression-type true treasure? Although you're stronger than me, you're not much stronger. As long as I have enough divine power, how can you suppress me? Zhu Xian Master said coldly. Ha! Zhu Xian Master, I'm afraid you've made a mistake. Although I'm the one who took out this suppression-type true treasure, I'm not the one who uses it. Jian Wushuang laughed loudly. What? Zhu Xian Master was stunned. The next moment, she saw the person controlling the blood tower. The person controlling the blood tower was the sloppy old man who had previously made her feel unfathomable. This sloppy old man was naturally the demon master Chenhua. He was in existence at the peak of the 6th level of the void. Now that he was in control of the blood-colored tower, a world-shaking might burst forth from it. In almost an instant, the blood-colored tower had already covered both Zhu Xian Master and Han Xian. No, impossible. How can this be? Zhu Xian Master and Han Xian struggled madly under the blood-colored tower. However, no matter how hard they struggled, they were unable to break free of the blood-colored tower. In the end, the blood tower opened its bloody mouth like a beast and swallowed them. The two principles masters could not resist at all and were suppressed in an instant. As for the Peak Saints, Jian Wushuang did not let them go. He also suppressed them with the suppression-type holy treasure in the hands of the invincible saint-level helmet. After doing all this, Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen were gathered again. Heavenly Sword Marquis, Your suppression-type holy treasure is quite powerful. It should have reached the level of an advanced supreme treasure. Its value is extraordinary. How did you get such a precious treasure? Demon Master Chen returned the blood-red tower to Jian Wushuang. At the same time, he asked, "Got this blood-red tower from a rule master I killed," Jian Wushuang said with a smile. He was telling the truth. More than 400 years ago, the battle on Saha Island had been earth-shaking. Many principal's masters had died in that battle, and Jian Wushuang had killed some of them with his own hands. For example, the 4 Flame Divine, guards around the Flame Saint Master, and the Tianyu Master, who had reached the peak of the 5th Void Realm and was one of the top officials of the Destruction Saint Realm, had all been killed by Jian Wushuang after he had received the power from Blood Wave. The 4 Flame Divine Guards, which were treasures left behind by Tianyu Master, and the others naturally fell into Jian Wushuang's hands. The suppression-type supreme treasure, the Blood Tower, which Jian Wushuang took out, was from Tianyu Master. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. In fact, he had obtained many supreme treasures from the previous battle, and several of them were useful to him, but he did not have the time to use them. It was not until today that he gave them to Demon Master Chen that he handed them over to Demon Master Chen to use. Zhu Xin and Han Xin have been suppressed. Now, Valley Master Longyu from the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley can't refuse to meet me. Jian Wushuang sneered and glanced at the blood-red tower in his hand. Then he kept the blood-red tower in his arms. In the blood-red tower, Zhu Xin and Han Xin were trapped inside, although their strength was not restricted, and they were constantly bombarding the surrounding towers. No matter how they used their skills, they were unable to shake the blood tower in the slightest. Is useless. This tower is a suppression-type true treasure, and it is estimated to have reached the level of a high-level true treasure. With such a true treasure, just the 2 of us won't be able to move, much less destroy this tower. Zhu Xin Master attacked a few times. He shook his head helplessly. Uncle Master, Heavenly Sword Marquis did not kill us immediately. Instead, he suppressed us within this blood tower. What is he trying to do? Han Xin asked with a frown. He is trying to. Zhu Xin narrowed her eyes. She swallowed the words that were about to come out of her mouth. Don't worry about what his motive is. In short, Heavenly Sword Marquis isn't trying to kill us. He is just trying to use the 2 of us to threaten our supreme emotion-forgetting valley. If nothing goes wrong, the Valley Master already knows that the 2 of us are being suppressed by Heavenly Sword Marquis. He will definitely come out to rescue us. How to save him? Han Xin asked again. Negotiate with him. Valley Master will definitely negotiate with Heavenly Sword Marquis, but we don't know how to negotiate with him. Well, wait in this tower. Master Zhu Xin sighed. She did not feel good about it. More than 1,000 years ago, when she first saw Jian Wushuang in the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion, he was not even a saint. At that time, Jian Wushuang was just an ant. Even worse than an ant, she did not take Jian Wushuang seriously at all. However, in the blink of an eye, Jian Wushuang had grown to such an extent. Moreover, when they met again, she was suppressed by him without any ability to fight back. The contrast between them was so great that it was hard for him to accept for a moment. On the other side, in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, as what Master Zhu Xin had said, Valley Master Longyu and the top management of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley had already learned that Master Zhu Xin and Han Xin had been suppressed by Jian Wushuang. How dare he suppress the elders of the valley? How dare he? If he didn't have the courage, he wouldn't have fought with the 3 saint realms. To be honest, he's not even afraid of the 3 Saint Realm Masters, so he doesn't care about the valley. Suppressing the elders of the valley is no longer a challenge to the valley, but a declaration of war. The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley's highest-level principles masters were all extremely furious at this moment. Chapter 3374. Face-to-face in contrast to the furious elders present. Longyu, the Valley Master of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, appeared rather calm at this moment. This Heavenly Sword Marquis is really persistent. He wants to use such a method to force us out. Longyu said in a low voice, "Force us out? What does the Valley Master mean by this?" An elder at the side asked in puzzlement, "You don't know?" At this moment, the woman in black spoke. "Not long ago, that Heavenly Sword Marquis personally came to visit our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, but was rejected by us. After he left, he immediately began to suppress the disciples of our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley in the surrounding territories. Of course, his goal was to force us out." "Is that so? Heavenly Sword Marquis actually came to visit us." Heavenly Sword Marquis is extraordinary in both strength and status. Since he came to visit us, how could our valley refuse him? Most of the elders present were not aware of the conflict between Jian Wushuang and our valley, so they were puzzled. Everyone, there is a subtle relationship between Heavenly Sword Marquis and the valley. He is here for the young master. Longyu said. Hearing the words, "young master," the elders in the hall were shocked. Young master. Heavenly Sword Marquis is related to young master. How can that be? Young master should have no connection with the outside world. How can he have anything to do with Heavenly Sword Marquis? Valley Master, what exactly is going on? A white-haired old woman asked. It's like this. Longyu immediately began to explain. She briefly described the cause and effect of the matter. It's because I knew that there might be some connection between Heavenly Sword Marquis and the young master. If he appeared in front of the young master, it might affect the young master's cultivation. That's why I blocked him out. I just didn't expect the Heavenly Sword Marquis to be so persistent and use such a method to force us to meet him. Longyu said. When they heard Longius' words, the elders all understood. At the same time, they also understood Longius' actions. The young master was too important to their Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. The young master's cultivation must not be sloppy. Therefore, ever since the young master came to their Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, the young master's existence, only the elders and some of the best disciples knew some things, but the others did not. Not to mention the experts from the other forces. Even 99% of the people in the valley did not know about the existence of the young master. Now, Jian Wushuang was obviously here for the young master, so they could not let him affect the young master. We can't let Heavenly Sword Marquis meet the young master. But the problem is that Heavenly Sword Marquis has suppressed so many disciples of our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, including Han Xian and Elder Zhu Xian. Under such circumstances, we can't avoid him anymore, Longyu said. Since we can't avoid him, let's face him. Let's see what Heavenly Sword Marquis is going to do. Yes, although Heavenly Sword Marquis is strong and powerful, our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley has been in the divine, beginning realm for so many years. Why should we fear him? Even Temple Master by Xing of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, or even Temporal Temple Master, wouldn't dare to go too far against our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. What is this little Heavenly Sword Marquis? Heavenly Sword Marquis is too arrogant. I suggest we teach him a lesson. As long as we don't kill him, even the Temporal Temple won't say anything. Some elders had already said that they wanted to teach Jian Wushuang a lesson. This was normal. The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley's heritage was far beyond that of sects like the Xiaoyao Mansion. Even the Amethyst demon sect at its peak was far inferior to the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Most importantly, the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley had always had its biggest reliance. With that reliance, even the 3 Saint Realms and the 3 Freedom Alliances had some concerns about them. Because of this, they were not afraid of any sects or forces, and no one dared to push them to the limit. As time went by, this made the elders and disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley more arrogant. They did not want to provoke Jian Wushuang, but they were not afraid if he provoked them. Valley Master, in my opinion, this is not a trivial matter. You all know how powerful Heavenly Sword Marquis is. Even if the 3 Saint Realms set up an inescapable net, and the 3 Masters of the Saint Realm, together with the Sorcerer God, could not do anything to him, we have to think carefully before we meet him. Why don't we report this to the old master and see what he says? An elder who had reached the 4th realm of the void said. However, Longyu waved her hand. When Heavenly Sword Marquis came to visit previously, I've already checked. He only has a Principal's Master, who is suspected to be at the 4th level of the void. With his own strength, he won't pose much of a threat to our Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. There's no need to trouble the ancestor. Let's go meet Heavenly Sword Marquis first. If both sides can agree, then they'll naturally be on good terms. If they can't agree, then let's have a big battle. As long as we don't kill him, we'll teach him a lesson. There won't be any problems. Hearing Longius' words, the surrounding elders all nodded in agreement. Then where is the Heavenly Sword Marquis now? Longyu asked. He's staying in the city where Elder Han Xian and Elder Zhu Xian were suppressed. It seems that he knows that we won't be able to sit still, so he might as well wait for us there, the black-clothed woman said. Very good. Since that's the case, let's go meet them. Longius' eyes emitted a cold light. To be safe, let's invite Marshal Uncle K out. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Marshal Uncle K? The surrounding elders were all startled. They naturally knew who Marshal Uncle K was that Longyu was talking about. In the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, other than the oldest and most revered Old Supremacy, this Marshal Uncle K had the highest seniority. In terms of strength, Marshal Uncle K was naturally very strong. At least, he was much stronger than anyone present, including Longyu, such an ancient and senior expert. Logically speaking, he should have gone to the depths of the universe battlefield, but Marshal Uncle K did not. Therefore, Marshal Uncle K became one of the trump cards of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Soon, many experts of the valley headed toward Jian Wushuang. Chapter 3375. Master Gorsch, the cities where Master Han Xian and Master Zhu Xian were suppressed were still in a tavern. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who were drinking while quietly waiting for the arrival of the experts from the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. The speed of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley is really slow, Jian Wushuang said. Don't worry. You've suppressed the 2 Rule Masters, so the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley won't pretend that they don't know. Besides, although the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley keeps a low profile and doesn't compete for hegemony, it's actually a very arrogant sect that values its reputation very much. If they don't react at all, won't they become a joke? Demon Master Chen was said with a smile. I'm not worried that they won't come. I'm just worried about their attitude. If we can come to an agreement later, ITL'll be fine. But if the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley is too tough and doesn't give us a chance to talk, then we'll be in trouble. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. At this moment, a group of figures was rushing over from the void not far away. Oh, they're here. Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chen, who raised their heads. Although they were still some distance away, They had a clear view of each other's lineup. 8 Principals Masters. Jian Wushuang's expression changed. As far as I know, although Supreme Emotion Forgetting Valley has always been the overlord of the second heaven, and no one has dared to provoke it. In fact, there are not many top experts in Supreme Emotion Forgetting Valley. 4 Principals Masters, there are only about a dozen of them. I've already suppressed 2 of them before, but now I've summoned 8 Principals Masters at once. Thanks. They really think highly of me. Among these 8 Principals Masters, I only know 2. One of them is their Valley Master Longyu, and the other is Master Gorsch. This old woman is a character from my master's era. When she became famous, I wasn't even born. At that time, it has been 300 million years since then. Such an ancient character is still staying in the divine beginning realm. In the divine beginning realm, regardless of whether it was some top forces or sects or some solitary experts, under normal circumstances, as long as their strength reached a certain level, and there was almost no room for improvement in the divine beginning realm, they would all go to the depths of the universe battlefield to wander or roam about, and once they went out, very few would return. However, there were also some people who clearly had no room for improvement in the divine beginning realm, but they were not in a hurry to leave. Instead, they stayed in the divine beginning realm like the 4 ancient immortals of the Temporal Temple. They had founded the Temporal Temple together with the Temporal Temple Master, which was much further away from now. However, the 4 of them still stayed in the divine beginning realm. There was also Elder Darkbone, who was also an old monster, who was still in the divine beginning realm. I guess you're worried about the Supreme Emotion Forgetting Valley, Jian Wushuang said. Then he asked, Chenhua, since you know about Master Gorsch, you should know her strength, right? Well, when the Amethyst Demon Sect was still alive, I had a fight with Master Gorsch. At that time, I was only at the 4th realm of the Void Realm, and Master Gorsch was also at the 4th realm of the Void Realm. When I fought with her, we were evenly matched. To be exact, she was slightly better than me. Now, although she's not very talented, it's been a long time. No matter what, her strength should have improved. According to my estimation, her current combat strength is at least at the peak of the 5th Void Realm. And it's very likely that she has reached the level of the 6th Void Realm, Demon Master Chenhua said. If she really is at the 6th Void Realm, are you confident that you can defeat her? Jian Wushuang asked. Of course I'm confident. Demon Master Chenhua smiled. This old woman was only a hair's breadth away from the 5th Void Realm, but I was able to fight her as soon as I stepped into the 4th Void Realm. Now, even if she has reached the 6th Void Realm, she is absolutely no match for me. Demon Master Chenhua was very confident. Indeed, he was now at the peak of the 6th realm of the Void, and the gap between him and the pinnacle of the 6th realm of the Void was very small. In the divine beginning realm, there were probably not many Principals Masters who could be stronger than him. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. That's good. Jian Wushuang smiled slightly. Although there were 8 Principals Masters from the Supreme Emotion Forgetting Valley, the only one who was worthy of Jian Wushuang's fear was Master Gorsch. As for the others, even their Valley Master Longyu, Jian Wushuang did not take them seriously. Well, they are here. Let's go and meet them. Jian Wushuang smiled and walked out of the tavern with Demon Master Chenhua. They came to the Void and stopped in front of the 8 Rule Masters of Supreme Emotion Forgetting Valley. Heavenly Sword Marquis, greetings to all of you from Supreme Emotion Forgetting Valley. Jian Wushuang maintained an extremely humble posture at the beginning. After all, he did not want to lose all decorum with the Valley. It would be best if they could reach an agreement. Heavenly Sword Marquis, How dare you suppress the two principals masters and so many disciples of the valley? Don't think that because you have the support of the temporal temple, the valley won't dare to do anything to you. Release the people of the valley. Longyi's eyes were cold. She stared at Jian Wushuang. Ha, Longyu, long time no see. You still have such a bad temper. A hearty laugh came out of the mouth of Demon Master Chenhua, who was looking at Longyu with a smile. Longyu also noticed the existence of Demon Master Chenhua. You are Demon Master Chenhua? Longyi's pupils suddenly shrank. Chenhua, the monster from the Amethyst Demon Sect. Master Gorsch immediately looked at Demon Master Chenhua. Ha! I didn't expect that the two of you would still remember me after such a long time. How rare! Demon Master Chenhua sneered. How is that possible? Aren't you already dead? Longyu looked at Demon Master Chenhua in shock. During the battle that destroyed the Amethyst Demon Sect back then, many of the top experts of the Amethyst Demon Sect should have been killed. And you are the most famous genius elder of the Amethyst Demon Sect. The Flame Saint realm wouldn't let you off so easily. How can you still be alive and have even gotten together with Heavenly Sword Marquis? Master Gorsch's face was also filled with shock. She had personally fought with the Demon Master Chenhua before, so she knew how terrifying he was. The Flame Saint realm would definitely think of ways to kill such a super genius, but now the Demon Master Chenhua was clearly alive and well. Humph! The Flame Saint realm wants to kill me, but unfortunately, I won't give them a chance. The Demon Master Chenyuo's voice was cold. As for why I'm with the Heavenly Sword Marquis, that's none of your business. Chapter 3376. Urgent after a simple greeting between Demon Master Chenhua and the people of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, the two sides went back to the main topic, Valley Master Longyu, as well as the people of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. I, Heavenly Sword Marquis, can swear that I have no hostility toward the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley from the beginning to the end. As for the reason why I suppressed the experts and disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley this time, it was because I had no choice. I hope you can forgive me. Jian Wushuang lowered his attitude. Do you really have to do this? Not only did you suppress the ordinary disciples, but you also suppressed two principals masters. Do you really have to do this? Valley Master Longyu shouted coldly. I suppressed them because I wanted to lure you out. In fact, when I visited Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley not long ago, if you hadn't rejected me, this wouldn't have happened, Jian Wushuang said. Humph, Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley has some private matters to deal with. I said that I would visit you in the temporal temple, but you forced me to meet you by suppressing the disciples of the experts of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. How can you visit people like this? Valley Master Longyu said. Valley Master Longyu, I'm afraid only you know the reason why your Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley rejected me. But now that things have come to this, it's useless to pursue this matter. Let's get down to business. Jian Wushuang looked at Valley Master Longyu. Compared to Valley Master Longyu and the other masters of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, you should already know why I'm here. The principals masters of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley looked at each other in dismay. Naturally, they understood, but they did not show any change in their expressions. How would I know why you're here? Valley Master Longyu asked. Then let me be clear. More than 1,000 years ago, in the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion of the Golden Crow Nine Realms, in the Endless Territories, the people of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley took my wife away in front of me. Among the people who took my wife was the consciousness clone of Master Zhu Xian. Now, I'm here to visit Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley to take my wife away. Jian Wushuang said, Your wife? Valley Master Longyu and the principal's masters frowned. wife, their young master, and heavenly sword marquis were husband and wife. No, Valley Master Long Yu immediately shook her head. Young Master is the most suitable person to cultivate the divine skill that our supreme emotion-forgetting Valley has spent so many years and energy to find. She shouldn't have any secular aura at all. How could she have a husband? Thinking of this, Valley Master Long Yu immediately believed that Jian Wushuang was lying. Heavenly Sword Marquis, do you think that people from our supreme emotion-forgetting Valley are so stupid that they will be easily deceived by you? Valley Master Long Yu said angrily, the rule of our supreme emotion-forgetting Valley has always been that we only accept virgins as disciples. Anyone who enters our Valley must be heartless and unfeeling. Therefore, before she comes to the Valley, we will make sure that her love threads are completely cut off. You said that the person that Master Zhu Exine took away was your wife, but since she was your wife, how could she be qualified to enter our supreme emotion-forgetting Valley? It's true that the person that Master Zhu Exine took away was my wife, but her memory has not been completely restored. As long as you let me see her, I will naturally have a way to restore her memory, Jian Wushuang said. Whether she's your disciple or not, it's meaningless now, Valley Master Long Yu said. Meaningless? Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly. Yes, as long as she enters my great love Valley, she will naturally sever all love. My supreme emotion, forgetting Valley, will naturally not allow her to meet you. Moreover, even if my supreme emotion-forgetting Valley allows it, you won't be able to see her, Valley Master Long Yu said. Why? Jian Wushuang frowned. Is simple. The person you mentioned is dead. Valley Master Long Yu said. What did you say? Jian Wushuang's expression changed drastically, and a fierce light flashed in his eyes. Yes, she is dead. Not long after she came to our Valley, she died during an experiential training, Valley Master Long Yu said. Seriously. When the principals masters of the supreme emotion, forgetting Valley, heard Valley Master Long Yu's words, they were all stunned and could not help but sigh in their hearts. They all knew that the person Jian Wushuang was talking about was their young master. The young master was still alive and well. However, in order to make Jian Wushuang completely give up, Valley Master Long Yu directly said that their young master was dead. At this moment, when Jian Wushuang heard the news, he was a little stunned and did not react in time. What followed was endless killing intent and unprecedented fear, but he quickly calmed down. He raised his head and looked carefully at Valley Master Long Yu and the principal's masters beside her. Although these principal's masters were trying their best to hide it, Jian Wushuang still saw some clues. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. Valley Master Long Yu is fine, but some of the other principal's masters have strange expressions. It seems that they were also shocked by the look in their eyes. Jian Wushuang observed carefully. More than 400 years ago, when I met Han Xian in the Blood-Ware realm and asked about Shuang, for the first time, Han Xin's expression was obviously different. I'm sure that Shuang was alive and well at that time, and her position in Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley was extraordinary. But now, when Valley Master Jade said that Shuang was dead, it was as if she was talking about the death of an insignificant, ordinary disciple. Based on these 2 points, I am sure that Valley Master Long Yu is lying. Jian Wushuang immediately understood, and his eyes turned cold. Valley Master Long Yu, I am sure that she is still alive. Just tell me what conditions you want me to take her away. Conditions? What conditions can you offer? Valley Master Long Yu glanced at Jian Wushuang. No matter what kind of harsh conditions you offer, as long as you bring them up, I can try to fulfill them. Even if you want me to destroy a top sect in the third heaven for you, or even destroy a saint realm and kill a master of the saint realm, I can try." Jian Wushuang clenched his hands. His eyes were full of longing and expectation. He and his wife had been separated for too long. He could not wait to see his wife. He was too eager. Upon hearing Jian Wushuang's words, both Valley Master Longyu and the principal's masters of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley were stunned. Chapter 3377. Rage. This heavenly sword marquis really dares to say it. He destroyed a saint realm and even killed a saint realm master? Who does he think he is? Don't underestimate him. This heavenly sword marquis once severely injured the flame, Saint Master, and the sorcerer god at the Saint Realm. Although everyone knows that he must have used some special power, it's still incredible that a saint can do this. His potential in the future is really boundless. He might really have the strength to kill a Saint Realm Master in the future. This heavenly sword marquis is willing to accept such a condition. It can be seen how deep her obsession with the young master is. The principal's masters of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley were secretly communicating. Humph! It is precisely because this obsession is too deep that it should be destroyed as soon as possible. Otherwise, Valley Master Longius' eyes flickered, but his heart was even more determined. Heavenly Sword Marquis, although the conditions you mentioned are shocking and tempting, and even I was almost moved by you, it's a pity that the disciple you mentioned is indeed dead. I can't let you see her again, even if you talk about heaven-breaking, Valley Master Longyu said. Of course, if you really want to see her, there's a way. After all, you're a member of the Temporal Temple, and your talent is so high. The Temporal Temple Master must think highly of you. You can ask the Temporal Temple Master to help you reverse time and space and resurrect her. Upon hearing Valley Master Longius' words, Jian Wushuang's face turned extremely gloomy. He did not expect that Valley Master Longyu would insist that his wife was dead, even though he had shown enough sincerity and lowered his attitude. This left him no room for negotiation. It was useless no matter what he said. As for Valley Master Longius' request for him to invite Temporal Temple Master to perform the reverse of time and space, that was right. The Temporal Temple Master valued him very much if he went to beg Temporal Temple Master. Even though the price of performing the reverse of time and space was very high, Temporal Temple Master might really help him once. But the key was Temporal Temple Master was not in Temporal Temple at all. He had already gone to the universe battlefield and had just left. It was impossible for him to come back now, so it was impossible for him to help him reverse time and space. Valley Master Longyu knew this, so she dared to say this, not giving Jian Wushuang any chance to refute. Since you're already dead, you can ask Temporal Temple Master to reverse time and space if you have the ability. Valley Master Longyu sneered in her heart. Valley Master Longyu, it seems that you really don't want to give me any chance. You really want to shed all pretense of cordiality with me. Jian Wushuang's voice had become extremely cold. I don't have that idea, but the person you're talking about is indeed dead. There's nothing I can do. Valley Master Longyu said. Very good. Jian Wushuang's eyes turned scarlet as if he was a demon from hell. Valley Master Longyu, you might not know this, but I said something to you when your people took my wife away from the Dragon Phoenix Pavilion, didn't I? What did you say? Valley Master Longyu and the principal's masters looked over. El said to Master Zhu Xian that if my wife lost a hair or suffered any grievance, I would wipe out your entire clan. Jian Wushuang said slowly, Now, since you said that my wife is dead, there is no need for your clan to exist anymore. Heavenly Sword Marquis, what did you say? Valley Master Longyu was immediately enraged. How arrogant! The principles masters of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley were also shocked and angry. The Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley had always been arrogant because of its strongest support. Even the Three Freedom Alliance and the Three Saint Realms were not afraid of them. As for Jian Wushuang, although they had some concerns, they were not afraid of him. However, such a person said that he wanted to destroy the entire Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley in front of all of them. How could they not be angry? If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, MyBox Novel. Thanks. I, Heavenly Sword Marquis, have never been careless with my words. Since I said that I wanted to destroy your entire family, I will destroy your entire family. As soon as he finished speaking, Jian Wushuang stretched out his hand, and a mini palace appeared in his hand. As soon as the palace appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of the experts of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, because they had sensed the aura of many saints from the palace. It was not surprising. The immortal saints imprisoned in the palace were the disciples of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, who had been suppressed by Jian Wushuang. Heavenly Sword Marquis, what are you going to do? Valley Master Longia's face was cold. Jian Wushuang did not speak. With just a thought, a terrifying power directly covered the mini-palace. In an instant, dozens of disciples of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, who were imprisoned in the mini-palace, were crushed under the pressure. Their bodies were immediately shattered. Even their immortal bodies were useless. This scene made Valley Master Longyu and the other rule masters of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley extremely shocked and angry. However, Jian Wushuang stretched out his hand again. What appeared in his hand was a mini blood-red tower. This blood-red tower exuded the aura of a supreme treasure. The moment Valley Master Longyu and the others saw this blood-red tower, their eyes were wide open because they had already sensed the auras of Han Xian and Zhu Xian Master in the blood-red tower. At the same time, a surge of astonishing power rose from Jian Wushuang's body and directly covered the Scarlet Tower. No, stop. Valley Master Longyu and Master Gorsch were both furious. However, the power had already affected Zhu Xian and Han Xian. Although they were both principles masters, they were suppressed in the Scarlet Tower and could not resist Jian Wushuang's power at all. Boom! The terrifying power crushed their divine bodies in an instant. However, they were principles masters after all, so it was not enough to kill them with just one attack. However, they had already used up nearly half of their divine power. A large amount of power surged from Jian Wushuang's body again. It was obvious that he intended to cover them with power for the second time. He's courting death. Stop him. The people from the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley immediately attacked. They did not dare to give Jian Wushuang a second chance to use his power to crush them. Therefore, if they used their power to crush them again, Zhu Xian and Han Xian in the blood-red tower would probably be able to withstand it. They would most likely die. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you're too impudent. The cold voice came from Master Gorsch, who was exuding a shocking destructive aura. Chapter 3378. Fierce battle, a majestic aura surged out of Master Gorsch's body and directly pressed down on Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua. When they felt this aura, Jian Wushuang and Demon Master Chenhua instantly understood the level of Master Gorsch. She really is in the sixth realm of the void. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. Seems that this old woman has not wasted her time. Demon Master Chenhua was still very relaxed. Many principles masters of the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley looked proud. Master Gorsch was the strongest person in the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley besides the old master. He was also a great reliance. In the second heaven, Other overlord sects like Xiaoyao Palace, the strongest Marquis Xiaoyao, was only at the peak of the void fourth realm. However, the supreme emotion-forgetting Valley's foundation was obviously much deeper. As long as Master Gorsch took it out, is enough to bring shame to almost all the sects in the duplex. Buzz 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 buzz. She held a spear in her hand. The spear is extremely sharp, lightning-like thrust, 3 rules of the integration of the power, at this moment also completely revealed. And at the moment when Master Gorsch made his move, the Demon Master Chenhua also moved. Demon Master Chen Yuo's figure flickered and appeared in front of Master Gorsch as though she had teleported. After that, a similarly shocking aura rose up. The Demon Master Chenhua stretched out her palm and clenched it into a fist. After that, she directly punched out, courting death. The eyes of Master Gorsch turned cold as she shouted out. She was a great being of the 6th level of the void space realm, and she did not hold back. As soon as she made her move, she tried her best. Even a great being of the 6th level of the void space realm had to be fully focused to receive the spear. But this Demon Master Chenhua, she did not dodge or evade. Instead, she threw a punch. The key point was that this fist did not even have a pair of fists or gloves or weapons. It was purely an empty-handed collision with her true treasure spear. If this was not courting death, then what was? In the blink of an eye, this sharp spear collided with Demon Master Chen Yuo's seemingly ordinary fist. Pung! A loud sound rang out. In an instant, space cracks that spread over 100 meters spread out crazily. Heaven and earth seemed to split apart directly from the middle. After this collision sound rang out, an extremely pathetic figure immediately retreated explosively from the battlefield. This pathetic figure was still emitting a white light, but it was much dimmer than before. Uncle Master K. The scene in front of them shocked Long Yu and the principals masters of supreme emotion-forgetting Valley. They had been proud of the strength that Master K had displayed, but in the blink of an eye, Master K had been forced back by the opponent. Furthermore, the opponent had forced her back with his bare hands. He had not even used his weapon. How can this be? If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website, My Box Novel. Thanks. Master K had a look of disbelief on her face. She raised her head and looked at the Demon Master Chenhua in front of her. At this moment, the Demon Master Chenhua was still as calm as ever. However, there was a suffocating aura spreading from his body. This aura was something that even Master K could not help but be moved. 6 realms of the void. You are also at the 6 realms of the void. Master K was extremely shocked, and a huge wave rose in her heart, although she had noticed Demon Master Chenhua before, and at the same time, she knew about his talent in the past, but in her mind, he had been silent for so many years and his reputation in the divine beginning realm had not spread out at all. Obviously, he had gone into seclusion. Only by staying in seclusion could he escape the pursuit of the Flame Saint realm. And since he was in seclusion, he was naturally completely cut off from the outside world, unable to obtain any opportunities and experiences. Even if nearly 200 million years had passed, his strength should not have increased much. But now, it was clear that she had guessed wrong. With his bare hands, he didn't even use his gloves, yet he was able to force me back with a single punch. This strength is definitely not just the ordinary 6 realms of the void. I'm afraid he has already reached the peak of the 6 realms of the void. Thinking of this, Master K sucked in a breath of cold air. K, You and I had crossed paths before 200 million years ago. At that time, I had just stepped into the fourth realm of the void not long ago. I didn't gain any advantage from your hands and instead suffered a small loss. But today, I'm afraid the situation will have to be completely reversed. Demon Master Chen was sneered. Master K's expression sank, but he shouted in a low voice, "Leave this Demon Master Chenhua to me. You guys go deal with Heavenly Sword Marquis." Whoosh! Master Gorsch's figure flashed, and in the blink of an eye, he was engaged in a fierce battle with Demon Master Chenhua. Meanwhile, Longyu and the other elders of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley swarmed toward Jian Wushuang. Heavenly Sword Marquis, release Master Han Xian and Master Zhu Xian, and well spare your life. Longyu shouted, "Ridiculous!" Jian Wushuang smiled disdainfully, with a sneer on his face. Although he did not use his power to kill Master Zhu Xian and Han Xian in the Scarlet Tower at the first moment, he immediately made his move. His body flashed, and he disappeared in front of the principal's Masters of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley. Is this shadowless escape art? Be careful! This is the shadowless escape art created by Bloodblade Master. It's very strange. The principal's Masters of Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley immediately became alert. In the Supreme Emotion-Forgetting Valley, besides Master Gorsch, she was the most powerful expert and also at the peak of the Void Realm. She could see through Jian Wushuang's escape art. "He's there, Sixth Elder, behind you!" Longyu immediately shouted. "What?" The Sixth Elder of the Supreme Emotion Valley, a purple-clothed girl with a long whip, turned around immediately. Sure enough, Jian Wushuang's figure appeared behind her, and as soon as he appeared, a blood-red flash had already attacked. It was the second move of the bloody blade swordsmanship, the first move of heart penetration. "It's too fast." The purple-clothed girl was shocked. She immediately waved the long whip in her hand. The long whip was like a flood dragon, instantly wrapping around the blood-red flash, trying to block it. However, the terrifying, piercing power of the blood-red flash was completely beyond her imagination. Whoosh! Almost in an instant, the purple-clothed girl's long whip was shaken to the side. Fortunately, the long whip was a supreme treasure. If it was an ordinary top-tier holy treasure, under the terrifying, piercing power, the long whip would probably be shattered instantly. The long whip was easily shaken away, and the blood-red shock wave did not decrease in power, but it continued to pierce through the purple-clothed girl's divine body. The purple-clothed girl immediately activated the surface defense of her body, but in the end,